We're back. That's right. GCU Lopes taking a break from a grueling travel schedule over the holidays for a little home cooking this week. The Lopes back at GCU Arena 4-2. First up, the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State. I'm Kate Longworth. Welcome to the Lopes pregame show here on Your View, Cox Channel 4. The Havocs, well, they are home for the holidays, the majority of them, but things still heating up here inside GCU Arena as it is Suns night. And a couple of former Phoenix hoop stars are in the house. More on that later, but first, the Lopes went to Boise State and embarked on a journey as they took their first road trip, but they suffered in double overtime, falling to the Broncos. It was a heartbreaking loss, but not all was lost. That's right, it was the team's first road game, and they were going up against one of the best. The Broncos now 7-0 at home, and they are 24-0 against non-conference opponents on their home court. So although the Lopes fell short in this one, it was still a learning experience.
We learned that we got to finish, honestly. When it comes down to the stretch, what was it, 83-80? That's when we got to lock in. That's what we practice in practice. So you got to lock in on defense. Can't let your guy get a shot, but we just learned that we got to stay together and just lock in and finish games out, though, especially those type of games.
We learned we're improving. We're making improvements each and every day. We're fighting hard. We're playing well. It was a game we wish we could have back. Wish we would have won. They wasn't for that buzzer beater at the end of the game, we'd be talking about something completely different. But Boise played a good game too. But I think we had the upper hand for most of it, and just lost it there at the end. I think we learned that we play well. We can play with the best. We can compete with those guys and with anybody. And
yeah, the Lopes certainly proving they can play with the best, but if you're Dan Marley, well, then he wants to be the best, which means you have to beat the rest, right? Well, now we bring in our best, the guys who will be calling the action tonight here on Your View. Barry Mattel and Scott Williams. And guys, I know we were all collectively watching that Boise State game unfold, wishing the Lopes had come out a little different on that one.
Yes. I was saying a few choice words. That was frustrating.
It was a difficult game because they played harder than Boise State. It was just a couple tactical decisions that cost them the game.
Yeah, cold shooting as well in a tough 85-80 double overtime loss, as you saw it. Shooting from the field, 35%, 9 of 32 from the arc, 4 of 8 in overtime. But 19-3 second chance points. It's not like they weren't working hard.
They were working hard, getting on the glass. Of course, when you miss a lot of shots, you have more opportunities to get them, and they certainly went after them hard. And they kept Boise State to just like one and done on most of the night. And that decision to let them come down and knock down that three at the end of regulation, I think, is one that probably had the coaching staff thinking on the bus. Is if you take the foul, you leave too much time on the clock, and then you have to make 2 free throws on the other end yourself, versus trying to play defense and hope that they miss.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. A tough one as it was there. It was at the taking against a very, very tough Boise State team, especially, as Kate mentioned, at home. But one player that has stepped up throughout the course of the first 10 games of the season, Keontae Vernon, his first double-double.
Yeah, Keontae Vernon is doing a wonderful job because he is playing like the big man they need him to play like. A lot of stuff around the basket. These guards are very good at spoon-feeding him underneath as they get penetration. They kick it off to him, and he's finishing high and hard above the rim. This kid has done a nice job. He's shooting 68% in his last 3 basketball games because he's just playing big around the length, getting offensive rebounds and putbacks, and really putting those big broad shoulders to work.
Staying out of foul trouble, staying on the court. 39 minutes at the double-double, 15 and 12 for Keontae Vernon. Also getting the looks, Casey Benson, Josh Braun, they're getting the looks. It's just, some of them just aren't going in.
No, they're having some tough luck right now. I mean, they were in that Boise State game, a combined 7 for 21, shooting the basketball. I mean, that's not normal for these two guys. You say, well, maybe it's the heavy workload, 38 minutes for Benson and 43 for Braun. Your legs kind of go on your outside shots. You got to draw some more fouls, get yourself to the free throw line, get yourself to get a little bit more relaxed and comfortable with your strokes. But they're doing other things. I mean, Benson is rebounding the basketball. He's getting some shots for other players out there on the floor. So he's really picked up that end of his game. And Braun as well. More defensively, more moving the ball to guys that are able to find their rhythm.
Well, what's the remedy? Coming back home in front of the friendly confines of their fans here at GCU Arena and taking on a team that comes in, unfortunately, 0-10 for the Delta Devils starting the season.
Yeah, they have a lot of road games to start their season. They don't get a chance to play at home very much. I mean, they're a minus 22-point differential. This is a team the Lopes should really take care of early in this game if they play very solid defensively and keep the Delta Devils off that free throw line.
They'll be looking, or we will, at their leading scorer, Dante Scott. He's a junior transfer. He is their leading scorer at 10.1 points per game.
Yeah, he's got some skill and some size for, as you see, 6'4", 220, so he well put together young man, knows how to play the basketball game the right way. He does look to force some shots, but he's very good at getting into crevices, getting the contact, and then he's good at finishing around the basket as well.
The team needs to play well. They need to work on what needs to be rectified and worry about their own game against the likes of the Delta Devils tonight in Longwood on Thursday before they head on onto the road to travel to Louisville, Las Vegas for a neutral site game, Illinois. It's all coming up, and then the Western Athletic Conference gets underway in early January. Kate, we'll send it back over to you.
Well, Barry, just tailoring off what you just said, they do have a road-heavy schedule coming up and some really big games with big opponents, and they just came off that Boise State game. So, Scott, from a player perspective, can you perhaps overlook tonight's opponent and see, oh, they don't have a win yet, we can just go out there and coast? Or do you have to really focus in on this one after that double overtime loss at Boise State?
Yeah, human nature, you see that 0 in front of in the win column would be to relax, but I know Coach Marley has been really getting after his guys since the Boise State game. They want to get that bitter taste at defeat out of their mouth. There's no better way to do it at home at GCU Arena with a team that's got some trouble. So I look for them to come out, not to overlook this team, not to play down to the level of competition, but to play up to what GCU expects them, the level of their play to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the way they're looking at it for the Lopes all season long. Can they play their game versus playing to their opponent? Well, the only one who can answer that question is the man with all the answers, right? Dan Marley. And coming up next, our Barry Patel goes one-on-one with Coach to talk about that loss to 10-1 Boise State at Boise. And that game was really winnable. So what's Coach Marley have to say after that one? And how are they gearing up this week to get ready to go back on the road? All the answers and more with the Lopes Pregame Show continues right after this.
My name is Anthony Perez, and I earned my master's in education at Grand Canyon University. I feel that the degree program at GCU definitely got me ready and prepared me to be an agent of change, so that way I can lead my classroom to find innovative ways of solving the problems in education in the state of Arizona. Grand Canyon University definitely has a vibrant campus that has many resources that are accessible.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
I'm Mary. I am a sophomore at GCU and I'm studying biomedical engineering. GCU is definitely preparing me for the next chapter in my life. Biomedical engineering is not easy. We are able to interact with the doctors and provide the tools they need to be successful. I want to be able to start my own company and create the crazy technologies that the doctors are using, and that way when I see them, like, that's my product right there.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Head coach Dan Marley and the GCU men's basketball team travel to Las Vegas for a sneak preview at the Orleans Arena, site of the WAC tournament, to take on the Morgan State Bears of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Great tickets remain by contacting the Orleans Arena box office. And if you can't make it up to Las Vegas for the game, your view and GCU.TV are your tickets to all the action, with the Lopes pregame show starting at 6:30 p.m. Arizona time. The Lopes pregame show continues from GCU Arena tonight, this Monday affair against Mississippi Valley State. The Delta Devils coming off of a first road trip to Boise, Idaho, chilly Boise, Idaho, and a tough double overtime loss to the Broncos.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I thought we played extremely well. We led for most of the game, came out really focused, played well offensively. Defensively pretty good. Second half really struggled making some shots, but we hung in there and had a chance to win. Just didn't really execute down the stretch, especially on that last play. And even though it was a tough three to put them back, to tie it up and get into overtime, I still thought we could have defended it better. But We battled back, had a chance to win at the end of the first overtime, and then second overtime just couldn't get it done. But I was proud of our guys, how hard we played. But, looking back at it, that's one of those wins that, it's a really good Boise State team, had a hard place to play, and those one of those wins that are losses you look back at and say, man, we should have had that one.
I know you look back at games probably and say, well, maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda. When you look at the end of regulation, would you have done anything maybe a little bit differently? Or
no, I mean there was so much time, on the clock. You'd like to foul in a situation like that, but usually it's got to be under 10, 7 seconds, and they had plenty of time, and we just didn't do a good enough job of executing. We left the guy open where we had to close out, and he made a tough shot, but our guys have to realize that you have to stay locked into your guy, make him catch the ball inside the line, make him drive the ball, and hopefully it was a learning experience for our guys, and that won't happen again.
Well, you're 10 games in now, 7-3 overall, a third of the way perhaps throughout the regular season here. What's the 10-game look?
A little disappointed. I really think we should be 9-1, maybe 10-0. We've let some games get away. The San Diego game here, even though they're a very good team, we had that game in control and kind of lost it to the end. St. John's, another really good team at Talking Stick Arena. We didn't shoot the ball well at all, didn't complete free throws. That's a game I thought it slipped away, and then Boise State, like we just talked about. So although we are 7-3, we've given away some games, and our guys have to realize that we can't do that. It seems like every year we give away games that we need to win, and it's momentum building. And I tell our guys that we're playing for the WAC season, and hopefully we learn those lessons, and when it comes down to the WAC season, that we can't give away games we have to win.
I know after the game too, you said that you're pleased with how hard the team's working, but you also said some of the big name guys need to step up. Big time players make big time plays.
Yeah, you're only as good as your best players, and if your best players aren't playing well, it's going to be hard to win, especially on the offensive end. I have no problem with the way our guys are playing defensively, playing hard. But Casey, Josh, just have to shoot the ball better, and both those guys I know will, and they have to keep working at it. Josh is having a tough go at it this year, but he's been working hard. His free throws aren't where he wants to be. He's kind of, I think, doubting himself a little bit on when to shoot the ball, when not to shoot the ball. If he's open, you just got to let it go or escape and get rid of the ball and get it back. But, I'm not worried about Josh, and I think Casey's going to be fine. This is such a different role for him than the past years. He's got to figure out when to shoot it, when not to drive it, when to give it up and get it back. But we just got to keep playing hard, and we got to continue to develop our freshmen. Alessandro is really starting to pick it up. I thought he had a really good game, especially in the first half there at Boise State. And Roberts has got to continue to get tougher and find a way to score inside, but also get his jump shot going. He's a tremendous shooter, and right now everything's a little flat. He's falling back. So those two guys, we have to develop them, and then Oscar and Fifi and the rest of the guys. Keontae's been terrific. He's got to stay on the floor. But, I'm happy with our guys. It's disappointing when you look at being at 7-3 when you really look at things and you could be so much better.
Right. One guy that isn't a freshman but saw 29 minutes on the floor, had double-digit scoring, 11 points, 5 assists, was Shaq Carr. What are your impressions?
Shaq's starting to figure it out. He's played really well. I told him earlier we need him, and he's the one guy that can get to the basket, blow by a guy, and he's understanding when he's got to shoot it, when he's dishing it off. He's starting to look for his jump shot a little more, which really relieves the pressure, because if he can make that jump shot, guys have to come up and guard him, and then he can get to the basket. So he's got to continue to do a good job of taking care of the basketball, not be casual with it and turn it over, and then look to be aggressive, dish off when guys come, and then finish at the basket. So Shaq's one of the guys that I'm very pleased with.
Now your upcoming schedule, you've got a bit of a grind for travel. After Longwood, you travel to Louisville for an afternoon game on Saturday, then to Vegas for Morgan State, and then at Illinois, and then begin conference play at Seattle. What are your thoughts as you look ahead?
Well, we got to get these two games at home, and as everybody knows, it's never easy for us. If we come out and lay an egg, we'll get beat. I don't care who we're playing. We have to play well, and we want to continue to get better. So we got to take care of business here at home these next two games, and then we'll fly out really right after the game, which is a good advantage. 2 years ago, we went to Louisville. We played on a Thursday night, and Friday was an all-day travel, and we played a noon game on Saturday. And it's basically the same thing this year. So we'll be able to fly out right after the game, hopefully get into Louisville, get some rest, have practice, and then be ready to play. That's a really good team we're playing. And then, going to Vegas and playing Morgan State, who's picked to win their league. As you mentioned, Orleans will be playing the WAC tournament. We'll get a chance to play there, which is exciting for us because we haven't been able to play in that building, and we all know how much the WAC tournament's going to mean to everybody. And then facing an Illinois team, going there, and a Big Ten team who New Mexico State just beat at the Chicago Bulls Arena. they didn't play on campus like we will be in, but that'll be a good test for us.
Well, tonight, you said don't take anything for granted, but here's a team that begins on the road primarily every year. But the Delta Devils come in on fire here looking for their first win.
Yeah, they're 0-10, but I told our guys, this is a team that travels. They've played one home game.
Yep.
And that's, I don't care who you are or whatever. If you're always traveling, always playing on the road, it's hard to win games. So they've been at places with good competition. They started off a little rough. They've been playing better these last couple games against the competition. So we're going to have to come out here and jump on them early, not give them a chance to stay around and hang around and get some confidence. And I told our guys, we've had a lot of rest here the last couple of days, and this is the time now that we have to get ourselves going and start gearing up for that road trip. And you can't afford to lose any home games anymore and then get out on the road. And if anything like Boise State is an indicator, then we'll go out and play well.
Well, hopefully you won't have to yell at anybody tonight.
I'm sure I will.
Help rest that voice. Thanks to head coach Dan
All
Marley.
right, thanks.
As his team gets set to take on Mississippi Valley State. Stay with us. More of the Lopes pregame show continues from GCU Arena. They're packing their bags and getting ready to hit the road. The radio voices of GCU, Michael Potter and Tom Kuiper, sit down with Kate to talk about life on the road with the GCU basketball team and what exactly went wrong last week in Boise. Stay with us. The Lopes pregame show coming up in just a moment.
Come experience a stay-and-play destination in the heart of Phoenix during the holiday season. GCU Hotel is the perfect in-town getaway with beautiful amenities like the resort-style swimming pool, full-service fitness center, and Canyon 49 Grill, serving up modern American cuisine. Hotel rates from $79 and tea times as low as $20. Book your stay-and-play getaway at gcuhotel.com today.
Welcome back to the Lopes pregame show. You are watching it on your view, Cox Channel 4, but you tonight can be a part of our broadcast. Find us on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag LopesRising. All you Havocs fans who are at home tonight watching the broadcast with your family as you celebrate the holidays, join us for the fun and festivities here at GCU Arena, being a part of this broadcast with that hashtag LopesRising. I'm Kate Longworth. Thanks so much for tuning in here to the pregame show, and I'm joined now by some very special guests. You may not recognize them, but when they start talking, you'll certainly know who I am talking about because they are on the other side calling all the action for the GCU games on the radio. Michael Potter and Tom Kuiper. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, especially after a long week. The team had their first road trip, which means you were along calling all the action on the Fanatic. Take me through what you saw unfold at Boise State.
Well, it was a great game for GCU. I mean, they played really well. That's a team, Kate, that hadn't lost a non-conference home game since like 2014.
Right.
The Lopes gave them all they could handle. Really should have won that ball game. You talked to Coach Marley, had the team defended a little bit better on that last made three. It's a tough shot, but they made it to push it into overtime. And it is so tough to win on the road, especially against the #1 team in the Mountain West Conference. I thought they acquitted themselves very nicely.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they wanted to come away with that victory, obviously pushing that into double overtime. And Tom, just play with me here on this one, okay? You here are the coach, okay? 15 seconds down, up 3. Boise State is inbounding with 15 seconds to go. Do you foul and make them go to the line and shoot those two?
Absolutely not. That's not my style. I wouldn't have done it. We were talking about that on the air as it was happening. I would not. You know, a team usually shoots 33% from behind the three, maybe 40, a good shooting team. They're not going to hit it. And when you look at the tape, Grand Canyon was all over him. He was leaning to the left. He had two hands in his face. It was a lucky shot. No, I wouldn't do it. It was a good call. They just got a lucky shot.
Very good, and now we know, I mean, that's the expert talking. You're not going to go against that,
I'm not
right?
going to disagree with Tom or Coach Marley.
Exactly. That's a smart thing to do. Now, when you are watching that game, though, unfold, and you watch the Lopes, they were struggling a bit with their shooting. They are on the road, though, as you mentioned, going up against a strong team. They pushed this game into double overtime and really fought at it. So do you think this is a wasted effort, or did they learn something, especially being their first road game?
Well, this is where I might disagree a little bit with Coach Marley. He's saying, you know, hey, there's no moral victories. We got to win these games. We got to get over that hump if we're going to be the team we want to be, which is absolutely true. But I was very encouraged by that loss, more so than even some of the victories, because they played a great team on the road. It was a gut punch when that guy hit that shot, and they kept fighting, and had they made one extra shot or one extra free throw, they come away with a victory. So I think it just reinforces that this team can play with anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But now let's get from the standpoint and viewpoint of a former athlete. Are there moral victories? If you're sitting here 10 games in with a 7-3 record and you're a Lopes player, are you happy, or should that record be a little different?
It should be 8-2. They should not have lost any games yet here at home. I'm okay with losing to St. John's. I'm okay with losing to Boise on the road. But no, here with the schedule they had, they should be 8-2 right now.
And from an athlete standpoint, when you are hitting the road after starting off with such a home-heavy schedule, how does it help a team when you're all of a sudden on the road? Does it help? Can you bond and get a different chemistry to carry out the play?
Well, yeah, what you're hoping for is wins. And the more wins you get, the more confidence you get. The more confidence that you build, then you start playing with more of an aggressive style and with confidence. And so you have to build the wins. And then with that, it'll carry you on the road.
And of course, the end goal is to take it all when it comes to WAC play. So still a couple weeks to get ready for that first game up at Seattle University. How do you solve, in your opinion, the Lopes shooting woes that we've seen from either beyond the arc, and then even Josh Braun going out there? He's normally on target, not so much at Boise State.
Yeah, I think, we saw the Lopes a few times pass up some open threes in the offense. They've got to take those shots even if they haven't been hitting. And I talked to Coach Marley before this game, and he said, hey, Josh is rushing it a little bit. He's still shooting the ball well, but he might be rushing a bit. So I think there's a few little things to work on. But I do also think Josh is a good shooter. He's the #1 guy in the history of the program in threes. He's going to start hitting those.
We call him the mayor because really can
That's
he
right.
do no wrong, right? Well, thank you so much, Michael Potter, Tom Kuiper, for joining us here on the Lopes pregame show. You've got it locked into your View Channel 4 tonight for the action. But as the Lopes continue to hit the road, the Fanatic and these guys will carry you through. All right, still more to come on this show. When we come back, we will continue to talk about the Lopes and what's on tap for them, and also take a trip around the WAC later in the show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Earning your RN to BSN degree online doesn't have to be without the college experience. Finding your purpose takes support from those around you. GCU's leadership offers over 3 decades of experience delivering our accredited RN to BSN program 100% online. Graduate in as few as 16 months, learning from full-time practicing nurse faculty in small classes. Integrate your education with your faith and Christian worldview.
Find your purpose online at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Suns legends. That's right. Dan Marley, Jerry Colangelo, and Paul Westphal addressed the crowd tonight before heading into GCU Arena to talk about what else? Suns basketball and GCU. Take a listen.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight, the city of Glendale. Thank you very much, and all of the Suns season ticket holders, employees. A great franchise that I had the pleasure to play for 8 years, and under this man in 1988 until 95, and then came back and played my last year in 2002 and had some great experiences and some terrific teams. And now I'm here, and this is my 5th year here with the Lopes, and it's been an exciting 4.5 years, and this year we're eligible for the first year for our NCAA tournament, and we have a great team. We're playing extremely well, and it has a lot to do with our fans, our student body, who are gone, unfortunately, for Christmas break, but we have one of the best crowds in all of basketball. So I would just like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I hope you enjoy the game. We'll put on a great show for you.
It's great to be back at Grand Canyon. I have fantastic memories of my brief 2 years here. We did get a national championship, and that's what enabled me to go coach the Suns. Right after that, Cotton Fitzsimmons came to a practice one time, and we sat there, and I was coaching and talking to Cotton, watching the team, and he came to a game, and my son came up to me during a timeout, and he was about 5, I guess, I don't know, and I was drawing up a play, and my son was tugging on my coat. I go, get out of here. No, I want some money. I need it. So I gave him $1, and he ran and got a popcorn over at the little place over there, and Cotton saw that and thought that was good. For some reason, that my son didn't behave. I don't know what it was, but he thought that I was able to coach and be distracted at the same time. He says that'll be perfect for when you have to coach the Suns.
You know, this is a great situation that has been created here at Grand Canyon, and Dan Marley was the right guy to lead this program, leading into being eligible for postseason play in Division I basketball. And when you look at this campus, those of you who haven't been that familiar with it, you know, there's 19,000 that are on campus, and it's headed toward 30,000 in just a few years. That's how big and how fast the growth has taken place. And some of you may remember what it was like 10 years ago, like 1,000 students and not much in the way of buildings, etc. It's one of the great stories in the country. It really is.
What he touches turns to gold. Just one of the many things Jerry Colangelo has been a part of here in Valley Sports. GCU, one of those things, as well as the Suns. And we'll get to hear more from the Godfather at halftime. He and former player and coach Paul Westphal will join me on the court to talk about Lopes basketball and what's going on here in the Valley. But first, we will take a trip around the WAC right after this. Lopes pregame show will be back.
Hey you, are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/AZ roadtrip.
The WAC and take a look at some of these games. Yesterday, Utah Valley making the trip over to Hawaii, but they can't come back with the victory. Only probably a suntan. 70-69 the final there. Meanwhile, on the Lopes women's side, GCU victorious once again, coming up strong in their home matchup today against Southern Utah. The final there, 59-54. Jess Jajewski coming off the bench, leading the way with 16 points. And we want to remind you that these are some games happening this week leading up to some Thursday action for GCU. We'll be right back here with an earlier tip-off, 6 p.m. tip-off, 5:30 pregame show right here on Your View as Baldwin comes to take on the Lopes. Meanwhile, tonight it's Mississippi Valley State in the house as GCU returns home, trying to get back in the win column after that double overtime loss at Boise State. Can they do it? Well, only time will tell. Coming up right after this quick break, Barry Patel, Scott Williams, they have the call. We have the tip-off. Don't you go anywhere. We will be right back with Lopes men's basketball.
Our company's Comfortpedic Inc. We're a local mattress company here. It's a small family business that my dad started. Now we are providing the dorm mattresses to the most recent dorms here at GCU. One of my professors, he was a professor for my junior year, Paul Waterman, he was the one that started everything. Without him, this wouldn't have been possible. I came up with a short presentation, a very quick business pitch. I presented Dr. Gibb with my company history, and he loved it. So first we started with the hotel mattresses. Brett Courtwhite was very helpful, and everything ran smoothly. From there, we began with the dorm mattresses. We asked them what exactly they were looking for in a dorm mattress, and that's when we started to come up with a prototype. We brought in one of the mattresses that GCU currently has. We opened it up. We saw where they needed improvement and what we could do best to maximize a better prototype. And we came up with the mattresses that we have now, and after that everything ran pretty smoothly, thankfully.
This is our place.
from here on out. Hey, this is what we play for. We're better safe than them. Let's go. Come on, go get it, guys. Go.
Live from the heart and soul of Phoenix, welcome to the campus of Grand Canyon University and inside GCU Arena, where tonight the Lopes play host to the Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State. Good evening and welcome to GCU Basketball. Alongside three-time NBA champion Scott Williams, I'm Barry Butel. Kate Longworth will be along in just a moment. Well, the Lopes trying to bounce back after a road loss in double overtime, 85-80. To Boise State. They'll be looking for Keontae Vernon to step up once again. He picked up his first double-double.
Yeah, he played really well. Really got after it, down low, on the glass, knocking down shots all over the floor. Last three ball games, the guy's been absolutely money, shooting 68% from the floor. He's got high percentage shots. The guards are really full, spoon feeding him underneath the basket. Even going to the free throw line, having more confidence at the line.
39 minutes. 15 points, 12 rebounds. He perhaps may need to inspire Josh Braun and Casey Benson. A little bit chilly in Boise.
Yeah, they haven't been able to make shots. Just 7 of 21 from those two, but they've been doing other things. Coach Marley likes the way they're moving the basketball. Josh Braun taking more pride in his defense out on the floor. Obviously, 2 leaders. That game in Boise State was tough, but they're going to learn a lot from that. That's going to help them in WAC play.
Mississippi Valley State comes in, unfortunately, begin the season on the road. They're 0-10 to begin the season, but we'll be looking for their leading scorer at just over 10 points per game. Dante Scott, their junior transfer.
Yeah, great big Scott. And this guy's got some wide shoulders and really get it done on the floor. Doesn't shoot a real high percentage from the outside, but likes to slash to the basket, draw body contact, get to the free throw line.
Well, it's time to tip things off here on a Monday night in Phoenix. Let's send it over to the public address announcer, Paul DeNuser, with our prayer and our national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to GCU Arena for tonight's men's basketball matchup between the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State University and your Grand Canyon University Antelopes. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you all please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we begin this evening's competition with the word of prayer. Tonight's prayer is led by Viana Demetrulius, a junior majoring in nursing and a member of the GCU cheerleaders.
Let's bow our heads, please. Lord, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us and giving us the blessing to be able to get up this morning and to be able to come to this arena and to be fully capable to enjoy the game. Lord, I just pray for both teams tonight. Please place your loving hands around them and bless them and keep them safe and healthy, Lord. For this holiday season, I don't want to forget the real reason you sent your son, Lord, and just help us to remember and praise you in all that we do and to show Christ through you, Lord. In your loving name, Lord, amen.
Thank you, Viana. Fans, please remain standing as we now honor America with the singing of the national anthem. The Star-Spangled Banner will be performed this evening by the Phoenix Conservatory of Music's College Prep Program under the direction of Dr. Ben Hedquist.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs burst banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, the Phoenix Conservatory of Music's College Prep Program.
Nice job with our national anthem from the Phoenix Conservatory of Music and Viana Demetrulius from the GCU cheer squad, the junior nursing student, with our prayer. Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils 0-10, losing 81-63 at the University of Akron. Coming off of that, there's their head coach. Andre Payne in his 4th season, previously spent 8 years as head coach and associate AD at Wiley College in Texas. Let's see his starting 5. Dante Scott, Tariq Eckwood, Nate Naherney, G. Maul Davis, and Emmanuel EJ.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at EJ. He's a 6'8", 220-pound junior center from Nigeria. Got a lot of experience playing the international level. Lopes will have to do a good job keeping him off the glass and watching him in transition. He likes to get out and use his wheels in transition.
Let's introduce you to GCU. Here are Dan Marley's starting 5. Casey Benson, Fifi Adu, Josh Braun, Alessandra Laver, and Keontae Vernon.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eye on Casey Benson. He's been playing really well. He hasn't been shooting the ball as well as he'd like from behind the arc. Just 3 for 13 in his last three-point shots, but he's rebounding the ball much better than he ever has as a collegiate athlete.
The Lopes are 7-3. They lost in double overtime at Boise State on Wednesday night. Head coach Dan Marley in his 5th season. The associate head coach is Todd Lee. The assistant coaches are Chris Cremallone and TJ Benson. Director of basketball operations is Luke Galariba. Special assistant to the head coach, Brendan Sadian. And the graduate assistant is Johnny Hill. Lopes hosted Mississippi Valley State almost 1 year ago tonight. Their 3rd straight year. They won the previous 2, including a 72-62 victory last December 17th. Two straight home games. Longwood on Thursday before traveling to Louisville for a Saturday afternoon game. Your 3 keys to tonight's game, Scott.
Yeah, go with that holiday theme. Baby, it's cold outside. I mean, look, this Mississippi Valley State team is a very poor 3-point shooting team, just 28%. Lopes ranked 4th in the nation. That's right, 4th in the nation in defending the 3. Keep them out there behind the arc where it's chilly for them, and then rebound that basketball, not less. Play with an angry tune. I mean, after dropping a tough game on the road, they have within their grasp. They need to come out here and force these Delta Devils into a lot of turnovers tonight, something the Lopes do very well. Also 19th in the nation, and then a season of giving. Continue to make that extra pass. The ball movement this year for the Lopes has been fantastic. When they move that extra pass, they get high percentage shots. They're averaging 16 assists in a game.
We are underway. The Delta Devils with possession early on. The fans here in attendance will remain on their feet. The Lopes hit that opening bucket. Working inside. EJ off the mark. Rebound. Pulled down by Fifi Adu.
One thing I love about Fifi in that lineup, he gives him an extra body out there that can get on the glass. He's got those long arms, and he's not afraid to go in there and get popped in the nose trying to get that ball.
Benson to his right. Braun back to Laver. Josh, open look for three. Good! Take a seat if you will.
I like that because Josh has the ball, he gives it up. A lot of times when you give up the ball, the defense will relax. They come and set a rear screen on Josh's defender, flare him to the wing, and he gets an open look for three.
Davis. Curtis Allen in the game. Driving, Davis, right hand, not there. Laver got a hand on it, it's on the floor, he picks it up, hands it over to Benson.
Nice job defensively by Laver that possession.
Benson to Laver for three. Good!
Well, the Lopes have been really struggling to shoot the outside ball, and then they come out here and make their first two. And Laver, who's been extremely chilly, just his second of the season. I love that flare screen there by Keontae Vernon to free up Braun. And then you come down here, and you just do the old drag and pop to the three-point line. A lot of bigs don't want to come out that far or away from the basket. Laver's one of those bigs that's got range, so he can knock that shot down.
Alessandro now 2 of 13 from the arc.
So there gets his
1 of 12 at 8%.
Yeah, gets his first one to go tonight. And this is the start Coach Marley wanted for his team. And you can see that the Delta Devils, they want to go inside with the basketball. They know that they can't really shoot the long ball. But the Lopes come back out defensively, and they get 2 clean looks, and they hadn't really been shooting the ball all that well from the outside, so that's got to give them a lot of confidence moving forward in this first half.
Scott over to Davis. Davis comes back out front. Evans, eyed by Benson. Jordan Evans driving to the right, finds Dante Scott, their leading scorer. Cutting, slashing over to Davis. Davis in the corner, back out to Evans. 6 on the shot clock. Eyed by Benson, stopping, popping. Not there, pulled down by Laver. Falling backwards, hands it up to Casey Benson. Benson a long 3. Off the mark, Laver's there, but picked up by Jordan Evans, the junior from Waco. Picked off by Benson as he was eyeing EJ. Laver's going to be called.
Offensive foul called on Lopes number 25.
Pushing Curtis Allen.
Well, Benson doesn't do a very good job taking a high percentage shot, but I love the fact that he got back in transition, got that steal, and then Laver, just a little too much lower body contact, gets whistled for the offensive foul.
EJ inside, nice pass to Jordan Evans.
Oh, that was a nice move by Evans. He faked like he was going to come out on the perimeter. Benson turned his head for just a second. He went back door and a beautiful pass and an easy 2.
Benson to his left, Braun. Side inside, back over to Benson.
Yeah, Lopes are going to see a heavy dose of the zone defenses because they've been so effective at slowing down that high offensive attack. That's how they went to that 1-3-1 zone defense, and then Lopes tried to go with the high handoff over that back line of the D. And here it is one more time. You get that screen. See, Keontae Vernon sets that screen on that outside defender in the zone. They just weren't able to connect with it.
Looks like the Curtis Allen flipped a little bit. He's all right. Inside, Braun to Fifi. Fifi leaves for Casey. Braun inside the Laver. Reach in there by Arinze and Aquinzi.
Foul called on the Devils, number 21, Arinze and Aquinzi. First personal, second team foul.
Fouls on the bigs. You're not going to let them play down in that post too physical.
Laver to Fifi. Adu cutting in into the paint, driving, losing his balance would draw the foul.
Yeah, he got pulled down by the shoulders just enough, but that's what you want. If you get that screen and you can get that ball down there into the painted area, just keep pushing and getting that body contact and you draw the foul.
Evans picks up his first. Braun near side. Bounce pass into Laver. Laver's got some height, trying to turn it, but Stone.
I thought Lavers made that a little more difficult than he had to. He's such a smaller defender on him. He's got such a nice jump shot. Just a right shoulder turn and shoot right over the top of the D.
Davis, nowhere to go, leaves it for Scott. Dante Scott, number 1, to his right, back over to Davis. Now to Jordan Evans. Pulls back out, goes up over the top of the fingers of Jamal Davis.
That's what the Lopes do. They put a lot of pressure on ball handlers, and then they make them play in a crowd. Now when they pick it up, they got to do something on the move that they're not generally comfortable doing, and they turn the basketball over. They are 19th in the country at forcing opponents' turnovers.
Lopes haven't scored in about 2.5 minutes. Braun off the mark to the right. Pulled down by Evans. .251 and counting the drought for GCU. Leads it by 4 early on. EJ inside, trying to turn. Weaving his way around. Nice move by Jamal Davis.
It really was, because Braun came over as a second defender to try to swat that shot, and he moved that ball right away from him.
Kicked out, Adu for 3. Good!
Well, that was nice right there. Good secondary break. You didn't, after a made basket, you find a guy wide open on the perimeter. I believe that was Benson that found him.
Raining threes for the Lopes early on, all their buckets from beyond the arc. Evans, eyed by Benson. Evans trying to drive, goes up high, stoned by Benson. Timeout on the floor, 15:03 to go. Opening half, 9-4 is the lead for the Lopes.
Good job by Benson sliding with his defender, not allowing him to get that body contact, and then uses the correct arm to block the shot.
Send it over to Kate Longworth.
Thank you, guys. Well, in addition to Suns night tonight at GCU Arena, it is also City of Glendale night here, and I am joined now by Glendale City Manager Kevin Phelps. Thanks so much for being here, and you lead the 6th largest city in Arizona. What are some of the things that are happening in Glendale?
Well, right now we have our annual glitter event going on downtown, but boy, our business environment is really hot right now. We have a new Top Golf coming in, IKEA, BMW, so we're real busy.
I know it's always growing out there for sure. And tell me just a little bit about your day-to-day duties and what they include.
Well, I just help lead our 1,700 employees and just try to give them the support they need to do their job well.
And what brings you to a GCU game tonight?
Oh, I love it. This is my second game here since I've been down from Seattle area. I used to think that the Oregon Ducks, the old Mac Court, was the best place to see a game. It doesn't even come close to this environment. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it has been great to see the growth here as well as in your city. What sports do you like to follow?
Yeah, I play golf, but I love basketball. I thought one day I might be a basketball coach, so I'm loving it being here.
So you got a chance to hear Dan Marley talk a little before the game, picking up some tips from him?
Yeah, back when I was a Seattle Sonic fan, he used to kill us all the time out there, so it was nice having him being on my side.
All right, well, hopefully tonight he has a little of that killer instinct to help his players put away Mississippi Valley State. Guys?
Yeah. Thank you, City Manager Glendale. Unbelievable. I know that Marley did enjoy his games at the Key Arena in Seattle.
One of the best venues they had in the NBA. Very disappointed when the franchise left.
Lopes 3 of 5 from the field. All threes have not attempted a 2-point shot early on here with 15:03 to go, opening half. Inbound coming from Tyreek Eckwood. Bounce pass, nice pass. Into Anaquincy. Davis. Stone. Laver. Leads for Benson. Benson brings it back out. Matt Jackson makes his way over to the scorer's table to check in. Deontay Vernon turns towards the bucket. Benson, 11 on the shot clock. Laver turns. Battling for space, right hand not there. Braun busts in and gets the rebound. Fresh 30, turns around and shoots it, rings out, and pulled down by Dante Scott.
Well, nice job by Josh Braun working the glass. And how many shots have we seen of his that seem to go halfway down before spinning back out?
Davis. Eckwood. Lined by Oscar Freyer. Freyer in for Fifi. Ooh, driving. Eckwood. Eckwood gets on the board for the Delta Devils.
He put a little extra something on that shot to float it up over those long-armed GCU defenders. That was pretty.
Benson to his right. Pulls back. Laver. Braun. Bounce pass. Ooh, reaching in. Jamal Davis.
Foul called on the Devils, number 15, Jamal Davis. First personal, 14.
They're having a tough time right now with Laver. He's going to catch a little break. Matt Jackson's going to come in from him. He sets those screens out on the perimeter. He can either roll to the post or he can roll to the perimeter. When right now the Devils having a tough time figuring out where he's going to be after he sets those screens.
Braun for three.
Josh Braun with a couple threes early in this half. So good working those baseline out of bounds plays for buckets.
Inside Evans. Back out. Eckwood. Eckwood trying to drive into the paint on Freyer. Pulls back out. DeVere Creighton in the game. Eckwood loses it. Oh. Foul committed as Vernon brings it up. Deontay grabbing that right hand, flexing it. Looks like he got slapped on it or jammed there. Keep an eye on that. Well, GCU points all from the arc. Four of 6 from the three-point stride. Jackson, Braun. Back to Jackson, moves to his left, dribble handoff, Benson. Back door over to Freyer, inside quickly to Jackson. Down low, Keontae Vernon. Oh, it didn't go in. Oh, that was a sweet feed.
Nice feed underneath, and Vernon has made several of those reverse left-hand layups. I felt that was more one he could have taken his time and powered it to the basket.
Freyer eyeing Eckwood. Dante Scott stopping and popping. Doesn't go. Jackson with the rebound. Up for Benson. Leaves it for Matt. Right off the wing. Back to Jackson from Braun. Dribble handoff. Josh. Benson. Far side, Oscar Freyer. 12-11 on the shot clock. Benson trying to move. In the corner, Jackson doesn't have time. Dribbles it in quickly. Have to get the shot off. Braun for three. Oh, it's off the mark. Big rebound pulled down by Anna Quincy.
Yeah, give the Devils a lot of credit on that defensive possession. They were super solid. Never let the ball get inside where it compromised their defense.
Well, the Devils haven't scored in 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Trail by 6. Dante Scott leaves it there for Tyreek Eckwood. Eckwood trying to move on Freyer, moves to his right. Whoa, gets swatted by Keontae Vernon. Foul is called. Vernon gets called for his first personal. The Lopes up by 6 over the Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State. Leave it right here on your view.
The Grand Canyon University Championship Golf Course features over 7,200 yards of tees and tree-lined fairways, signature par 3s, greenside bunkers, and a 22,000 square foot clubhouse. The Lope House restaurant, serving modern American cuisine, is open to the public 7 days a week. Come experience the best golf and dining destination in the heart of Phoenix. Book your tee times at gcugolf.com.
Hey Phoenix, it's Thunder Dan Marley, head coach at Grand Canyon University. Coming to GCU was a great move for me. Join Antelope Nation by enrolling as an evening student at our beautiful campus in the heart of Phoenix. Earn your bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree to take your career to the next level. Engage with industry expert instructors in small classroom settings where you can get the support you need to excel. Scholarships available. See you on campus. Go Lopes.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/evening.
Welcome back. Just under 12 to go in this first half. The Lopes are up 12-6 over Mississippi Valley State, but we want to alert you to this game. Dan Marley and GCU men's basketball team will travel to Las Vegas next week for a sneak preview at Orleans Arena, site of the WAC tournament, to take on Morgan State Bears of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Great tickets remain by contacting Orleans Arena at box office. If you're in the Nevada area, you want to make it to that game up in Vegas, we will have you covered. Though if you can't make the trip, we'll be locked into your view and GCU TV. Your tickets to all the action for those pregame shows starting at 6:30 p.m. Arizona time. And some special guys in the house tonight for Suns Night as the Suns celebrate 50 years here in the desert. Former owner and general manager Jerry Colangelo, who obviously has such an influence here at GCU. He is in attendance, and former player and coach Paul Westphal. We will be talking to them at halftime.
Look forward to that. Amazing to see those two guys. All these Suns connections.
93 playing against Westy's Suns teams when I was with the Chicago Bulls. We had some real battles, and of course, a few years later, the Godfather himself brought me to Phoenix to be a Sun.
You had a few rebounds in that game, didn't you?
Yeah, man, it's some fun. They're going against Marley and Barkley, and those guys, and Danny Ainge, who guys have made their homes still here in the Valley.
Inside, Roberts Blumberg, but the tap back by Jared Martin.
Yeah, that's why I like to see Jared Martin. He does a lot of the little things. He get on that offensive glass. He'll take a charge at some point in time in his game. He'll get his hand on a ball. It might lead to a steal or deflection.
Evans. Jackson comes out. Evans. Floater up high. Short. Pulled down by Roberts Blumberg. Shakar on the run. Cuts back in. Kicks out to Frayer. Frayer drives in. Jackson's got to look for three. Good!
Well, they are really getting up the outside shots tonight. They're now 5 of 8 from behind the arc.
Delta Devils 6 of their 8 in the paint. They got to get in tight. Neherne. Frayer and Jackson both up high. Frayer leaves it for Jared Martin.
This bench bunch wants to run.
Carr. Martin looks inside. Nobody home. Now Matt Jackson quickly to Roberts Blumberg. Oh, up over the top. Careful.
Well, that was a beautiful play. They were fronting Roberts Blumberg down on the blow block. So they go high with the pass. Well, let's go back to the Jackson three. There's nobody within 10 feet of Jackson as he cues that one up. But you go high-low because they couldn't get the direct pass in to Blumberg's. Matt Jackson just floats it back over the top after he cut to the ball, and Blumberg took his time, gathered himself, went up strong, and drew the foul.
94% free throw shooter Roberts Blumberg is the second personal called on Jordan Evans. He's going to check out along with Anna Quincy.
Really good freshman, eh? Yeah, he was in that starting lineup for about the first 5-6 games of this season, and he's gone to the bench, and he didn't hang his head or pout or anything. He's playing just as well off the pine as he has as a starter.
7-0 run for the Lopes. 9:51 and counting. Quickly up the court. Lorenzo Hunt inside. Dante Scott, their leading scorer, puts it on.
Yeah, Lopes got stuck with 3 players behind the line of the basketball, and I knew that was going to spell trouble as they took it right to the hole. They cut that press like a cookie cutter.
Quick, nice feed by Blumberg's back out for 3. Not there. Rebound, loose ball. Delta Devils.
You want to work on that press. If you can get one player maybe back there hounding the ball, but if you get beat and you got 3 guys now behind the level of the ball, that's going to spell doom. So Lopes got to put pressure on that ball, but not compromise the back line of that defense.
Lorenzo Hunt eyed by Jackson. Dribble handoff. Eckwood. Tariq Eckwood. junior from Fayetteville. Off the mark, Frayer. 9 and counting opening half.
Nice job of Matt Jackson challenging the three but not fouling.
Frayer wanted 3, heavy, pulled down there by Emmanuel E.J. Naherney. Houston native. Off the mark, pulled down by Martin. They'll take it quickly to Carr. Carr cuts back out. Martin. Into Blumbergs. Swarmed. Jackson quickly to Carr. Carr drives into the paint. Oh, swat. Away by Dante Scott. Off balance attempt. Driving, not there, but Scott puts it back as Eckwood's shot was off the mark.
What happened with Carr there? I don't know if he got banged in the knee or the thigh. He's kind of grabbing at that lower part of his leg. He got no lift as he tried to drive down the center of the floor there, and it led to a fast break the opposite direction.
Up high, Frayer. Oh. They've been 0 for 2 on the those attempts.
Yeah, they like that rear screen on the outside defender. They can run that player off of that wing to the right to the rim. Frayer and Keontae Vernon are 2 of the recipients they love to go to. They got those live pogo-like legs.
Vernon back in.
The old lane violation. Yeah, lane violation on either Blumbergs or Keontae Vernon. Get it in too early, but look at that. You got the block and then running down hard the other way. You can get the initial one, but you got 2 guys hustling down, and we're able to get the follow-up here. The Lopes are trying to press 94 feet.
They do back in for Frayer. Dante Scott. Miami, Florida native. DJ leaves it for Naherney. Naherney to his right. Davis. Davis looking for Scott. Finds him. 3-2. Scott's got to shoot. Not there. Rebound. Vernon. Carr. Bounce pass. Jared Martin off the glass. Nice pass by Carr. Quickly, the Delta Devils back up the court. Sweeping right hand underneath by Davis. Not there. Scott's going to attempt a long 3 and finds it.
Well, I love Jared Martin running that wing down the opposite direction, and you don't see the Lopes give up too many buckets after they've made one themselves. And this Mississippi Valley State team, they're not going away. It's a 6-point game here.
Reefy's going to be called.
They're calling it too tight. I'm sorry, I don't like to get on the officials, but these are young men with a lot of energy. Let them bang a little bit out here.
Well, that's how they're going to be calling it.
One more time, they don't get that clean rebound, and you'll get burned in the second shot opportunity.
Beyond the arc, that's been the story. 5 of 10. Barry and Scott back with you. So glad you could join us here on a Monday evening in December. The students aren't here, so it's still a great crowd, but not quite as rowdy.
Hey, not quite as loud, but the Lopes are going out here and they're working their offense really well with the drive and the pitch, the screen and rolls. I love that one right there, just a little flare screen out to the side, and then this one here, taking a pop. Get him in transition, get the ball below the free throw line, kick it back out. And that's a good one out of a baseline, out of bounds play. You run Josh Braun off of multiple screens, and Matt Jackson off the bench has contributed from behind the arc as well. Here's Casey Benson and Keontae Vernon loving it.
Lopes 5 of 10 from the arc. They were 27 of their last 95 at a 28% clip. So doing much better here early on against the Delta Devils. 6 assists on 7 field goals for the Lopes. Lead it by 6.
Interesting. The Devils, one of the 4 3-point shooting teams in the country, have only attempted 1 3-point shot tonight, and they knocked it down. As the Lopes, who are, they're streaky 3-point shooting team. They can get hot and make them like they have tonight, and they've already taken 10 from behind the arc. Like you say, knock it down half of those. So this game right here is going to be interesting to see if the Lopes can do one of their patented spurts to end the half and take the momentum and a large lead to the locker room. Right now, the GCU bench has got 9 points to just 4 for the Devils.
Both teams rotating in players. Vernon got a hand on it. Careful, Delta Devils. Fighting hard early on. Fifi inside, Braun. Braun back out, Laver in the game. Benson, starters back on the floor. 7, 6, 5 on the shot clock. Vernon's gonna turn right at the key. Big rebound, Fifi tried to go after it, picks it up. Fresh 30, down low to Laver. Oh, loses the handle. Oh, my goodness.
That was a nice play by a dude to get the ball over to his big man, but he wanted to come back left shoulder turn to a right-hand hook, where the play was right shoulder turn, a little lefty off the glass. He made it a little harder than it had to be for himself because he didn't have the confidence in his left hand.
Scott, tied by Vernon, back out. AJ, down low. Turning is Lorenzo Hunt on Braun. Not there, Scott able to pick it up underneath. Hits the bottom of the backboard. The Lopes ball.
Yeah, I think they got a foul. First I thought it was just knocked out of bounds, but they're going to call a foul underneath there, and that's going to be just enough fouls to send the Lopes to the line at the other end.
Lorenzo Hunt. Laver goes to the line. How about the traveling to start the season for the Delta Devils? Utah, Ohio, Illinois, Alabama, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, back to Ohio, then here to Phoenix. They are traveling around the country. Caleb Allison checks into the game for Lorenzo Hunt. Laver connects.
Well, the freshman came to play today.
Yep. Scott. Ernie. Wanted EJ to come out. Long pass somehow got in the hands of Davis. A foul was called.
Jason Benson can't believe. I got beat up, and you're going to call the foul on me. That was kind of funny. He was well underneath, and he doesn't like to play down there too often if he can avoid it.
Scott takes it from Emmanuel EJ. Maherney inside to EJ, turning towards the bucket. Tries to float one over Laver, not there.
Uh-oh. Vernon grabbing that shoulder. That's not a good sign. That's one where those. I'm a doctor, obviously, but you get banged like that, and you start pulling that shoulder, that elbow in. You either get a subluxation or dislocation of the shoulder.
Take a look.
It's awfully painful. So they get down here and they start banging a little bit, and then as you're trying to go up to grab the ball, someone's coming down, and that shoulder either pops out the top, the front, or the back. That's not a good thing. Or just rolls around. I've had both my shoulders operated on as I know that sort of reaction to the pain. Hopefully it's just nothing more than him getting banged on the shoulder and a small bruise. He's so valuable when he's on the floor. We've talked about the way the team plays defensively so much better. He's kind of the quarterback of the defense, playing on that back line, communicating all the switching for the defense's rotations where players need to be. And when he's not on the floor, the Lopes have a different look defensively that's not always to their advantage.
Timeout on the floor. The officials are going to review some video as Jordy Hackett, the medical team, attend to Keontae Vernon as Dante Scott came over that from behind and clipped that right shoulder. He's obviously in a great deal of pain.
Here it is one more time. He's boxing out his man, and now he's holding off with one hand, tries to go up with the other, and he's coming up, the other player coming down, and that's a bad combination. And you talk about those shoulders.
Yeah, the medical staff here.
Yeah, I see
going to bring back to the room.
Yeah, I see Kate trying to work her way over there towards that area where they were working on him, but he's gone. He's back in the locker room now.
Let's take another look.
ISO'd underneath here, and see that hit. That arm is out. He's coming up, player coming down, and what gives is that shoulder trigger.
Adew is going to be at the line. The review. 23-15 the lead. Keontae Vernon goes back to the.
He's been solid from the line. Yeah, he's been solid from the line as kid. He's 9-12 on the season, and he's much more confident with his stroke this year than he was a year ago.
Let's send it over to Kate.
Well, guys, I did talk to Lopes trainer Jordy. He did tell me that Keontae suffered from a right shoulder sprain. He's in the locker room right now. We'll see after halftime if he will get back into action.
Coming off that first double-double of the season. 15 points, 12 rebounds at Boise State.
Someone's going to have to step up and provide that rebounding and tenacity that he does around the basket.
Slavers out there now. Matt Jackson as well. Davis inside. Allison turning, not there. It was out of bounds. It'll belong to the Delta Devils with 4 on the shot clock.
Well, Lavers got posted in a real bad way down there, but he didn't panic. He used his length and waited for Allison to go up and then blocked the shot.
4 blocks for the Lopes. Scott driving, floater, not there. Laver pulled down the rebound. 4th rebound for Laver. Benson. 3, in and out. Eckwood brings it up. Looks over to head coach Andre Payne. Gets the instructions and gives it over to EJ. Emmanuel EJ. Allison, almost got a hand on it, did Alessandro Laver. Scott, their leading scorer, trying to move on Braun. Floater up over the top is short. Rebound kicked out and picked up by Casey Benson. Quickly up to Fifi Adew. Cross court near side. Braun pulled down.
The Devils do a nice job after their misses and getting back in transition, not letting the Lopes get easy looks.
Matt's going to try for the 3. Good! Jackson!
Casey Benson loves going right as a lefty, and when they suck out of that corner to help on his penetration, it's when he's very good passing with his right hand, finding shooters on the perimeter.
6-0 run for the Lopes. Turning is Emmanuel EJ. Picked up, loose ball by Fifi Adew. Benson grabs it, looks for 3. He gets some!
Turnovers that lead to buckets that drive the coaching staff crazy at times.
Now a 15-point lead by the Lopes with 3:14 to go. We'll step aside and be back with the remaining 3:14 on the clock here in the opening half as the Lopes have done their damage from the arc. 7 of 13. The latest by Casey Benson.
It's that time again. Time to be thankful. Time to be with loved ones. Family Christmas. And family traditions. Now's the time to make room for what's really important. The years go by fast, and the holidays even faster. This is your season. Seize it. GCU's online degree program puts you first, so you can make the most of your time. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. I'm Dominique. I'm a student here at Grand Canyon University studying hospitality management. My hospitality courses here are giving me a high-quality education from professors that I know have been successful. Being able to work while I'm in school has enriched my college experience. I feel like I know where I'm going and what I want to do. When they say find your purpose, they mean it.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
30-15, the Lopes on top of the Delta Devils. Good crowd on hand. Many of them perhaps seeing GCU basketball for the first time. Young and old enjoying the game. Phoenix Suns season ticket holders coming out and enjoying a Monday evening here in Phoenix. City of Glendale.
That was cute, the little young cheerleader there.
Oh,
telling her younger brother, get your pom-poms moving.
Lopes has definitely opened things up. The Delta Devils 0 for their last 5 from the field. Close to 4 minutes without a bucket. Eckwood back to Evans quickly. Up to Davis. Evans got 2 personal fouls back on the court.
Last time Evans and Jackson, he tried to drive Jackson.
Rick Eckwood. Ooh, Fifi. They do call.
That's just their 5th team foul, and a dude's 2nd team foul is, oh, that's Keontae Vernon back on that Lopes bench. I don't see anything more than a Band-Aid on that right shoulder. Are you kidding me?
Is that all you needed?
I have a ice pack,
Band-Aid?
and I'm like, okay, coach, I'm done for the night. It's a tough kid. Small little Band-Aid strip.
Yeah.
Just wanted some TV time, I think.
Jackson pulled down the air shot. Benson quickly, Martin! Oh, not there.
Well, that was a thing of beauty, that break there. That was like the old Celtics used to do. The ball rarely hit the floor.
Sweet move there by Davis. Ron's going to be called. Delta Devils showing some athleticism. Freier's going to check in for Adu.
Yeah, they have a tough time scoring. And, you know, that's evident, but Lopes one of the better defenders in the country. They stay so high, and that's where they've been doing their damage. They've been able to work that ball into the point now. They got 12 points in the paint.
Ron off the mark. 2 minutes left to go, opening half. Eckwood looking to Coach Payne. And Quincy. Arinze and Quincy from Los Angeles. Eckwood eyed by Freyer. Moves to his right quickly, blew by Oscar. Didn't go, and Jackson pulled down the rebound.
Well, Freyer never gave up on the play. He might have even got a piece of that from behind.
Braun driving baseline, pulls back out, up over to Benson. Benson floats over to the left, far side. 9, 8, 7 on the shot clock. Twisting, turning, ooh, got a hand, reach in on it.
Silly reach in. No, your team's in the double bonus. You got 5 seconds on the clock. Why are you reaching? I don't mean to get on this young player, but it seems like it's something that I see in a lot of college basketball, and not realizing the situation with the shot clock. When you just play solid, you don't need to gamble and give the impression that you are, reaching to commit a foul. Even if you're getting a lot of the ball, if you pick up any of the rest, they're going to blow the whistle. You're just bailing out the offense after playing great defense for 25, 26, sometimes 27 seconds of that 30-second shot clock. Sorry, that's one of those pet peeves. Don't pet my peeve or whatever that is. This kind of makes me fired up. I just want these young players to perform well, and you see it at, watch. It wouldn't matter what level of basketball you're watching, but certainly at the college level. Seems like these coaches are losing their hair and sweating on the sidelines.
Coach Payne caused a great deal of stress.
He's decided to just get rid of it all like I did a few years ago.
Blumberg's in the game for Jackson. Evans moving on him. Oh, no doubt about it. Arinze Anaquinzi.
Wow. Evans is so good getting by the bigger Lopes defenders. It's opening up opportunities underneath. They've had Matt Jackson out on him there before, and this time the young freshman, Blumberg's tried to get a piece of him, and he just went right around him like a turnstile.
Shaq Carr is going to check into the game. He played 29 minutes at Boise State, picked up 11 points in the game. Went over to the scorer's table. That timeout, Dan Marley went over to motion to get him up.
Well, this has been the attack for the Devils, is to get inside. They taking one outside shot, and they knocked that 3 down, but 14 of their 19 points have come in the paint.
42.2. 31-19, the Lopes on top. Freyer to inbound. Carr, Benson, Braun, and Blumberg's in the game. Freyer, Blumberg's, Benson, far side, back out, Freyer. Now to Carr, 18 on the shot clock. Drives to his right, back out, Blumberg's for 3. High rebound up over the top, Benson hit the floor, loose ball, looking, fighting. Freyer, Blumberg's, down to Braun. Sloppy, but they have possession. 9 on the game clock. Got to get a shot off quickly. Carr, 3. Carr, right hand, stoned there by Arinze Anaquinzi. That was a bit sloppy, but they're going to call the foul here.
No, they're going to put more time on the clock. I think they're saying that that ball was swatted out of bounds, and there should be somewhere between 6 and 8 tenths of a second left on the game clock. As he goes to the basket here, and the ball gets swatted, and it bounces off the cameraman. You can see there between 8 and 9 tenths of a second. At least they didn't stop the clock. But the problem started on that last possession. After the offensive rebound, Benson wildly tried to throw something back up and was blocked, and it was helter-skelter with about 17 seconds left on the clock. They could have reset sooner and would have left them with more options. By the time Carr got the ball in his hands, all he really could do with 6 seconds left to go was to try to go one-on-one.
That'll be a bam-bam play here.
Well, they put a full second back on the clock, so yeah, plenty of time to catch, maybe even take a quick rhythm dribble, but certainly a catch and get your shoulders squared and get a shot in. My. Foul out of bounds. They fouled Josh Braun, one of the better free throw shooters in GCU history. Well, it's already the double bonus, but he'll still go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. Big Coach Payne, he's got a pained look on his face. Yeah. Those are the mental errors that I was talking about earlier that the coaches don't like to see.
Phillips.
When you're 0-10, you're on the road trying to get that first W. It's those little things throughout the course of the game that add up. He's still giving it to who's that, Phillips over there. She's kind of like going, oh my goodness, I do not want to go in this locker room at halftime.
Why do I have to stand here? Right by the coach. Quickly up the court. Ooh, hitting it hard. Anaquinzi, careful.
They whistled for a travel violation.
Wow, that's
salt in the wound there. An athletic play.
33-19 as the half comes to a close. The Lopes on top of the Delta Devils. Send her over to Kate Longworth.
All right, thank you very much. Well, Dan, after that double overtime loss in Boise State, are you pleased with the team's effort and fight in this first half?
Yeah, they're fine. We got to stop on the straight line drives. They're just breaking us down. They're trying to use a lot of the shot clock to control the game. So when they break us down one-on-one, we got to stop the ball from getting to the basket. And the same old thing, we got to shoot better.
However, same old thing, it seems that the bench continues to step it up, 12 points from the bench. How dominant can your team be if you see this production from your starting 5 as well as the back?
Well, I mean, we got 10, 11 guys that can really play. So when they go out there, they just got to play hard for those stretches of minutes. Got to do it on the defensive end and, get some transition off our good defense.
All right, thank you very much. Dan Marley's team with a 14-point lead, but as Coach said, they got to shoot better. Guys, nothing is ever good enough for Dan Marley, but that's perhaps what makes this Lope squad so strong.
No doubt about it. Lopes on top, 33-19. Kate will be back with the Suns legends, Jerry Colangelo and Paul Westphal. So you won't want to go anywhere. Leave it right here on your view.
I've been to other colleges, and GCU is the most student-friendly campus that I've been in.
I work full-time, I have a young family. Coming to class at night after work has been perfect with my schedule.
It allows me to still, work a 50 to 60 hour week, but also come to school.
I could have gone online, but I like the in-class experience.
I work full-time, and I'm also a parent, so having evening classes have been the best option for me.
Well, my favorite part of the program has definitely been the students and the faculty, especially the students. Our cohort has been really close, and we've become friends even outside of class.
We all have a relationship now, and it really helps you get through the program.
The professors have all been great.
The focus on the individual students is unlike any other campus I've been in.
What I've learned throughout my curriculum here at GCU, I've been able to apply on multiple levels.
It is one night a week, so it's a lot easier to attend classes, especially since I like the in-person interaction.
I know this knowledge is going to help me.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Welcome back to the Lopes Halftime Show here on Your View, Channel 4. I am Kate Longworth. Right now, GCU with a 33-19 lead at the break over Mississippi Valley State. And the fans here in attendance watching the GCU dance team perform a crowd favorite, their pirate routine. Meanwhile, I'm here with a couple of favorites when it comes to sports fans in the Valley. Really, these guys need no introduction, but just in case, Jerry Colangelo and Paul Westphal joining me right now. And tonight is City of Glendale night here at the game, as well as Suns night. So let's just take it back to 1975. You trade the Celtics for Paul Westphal and for Charlie Scott. Take me through what was going through your mind in that trade.
Well, Paul was a young player sitting on a bench in Boston that we had a lot of interest in, and felt that he would, given the opportunity, he could really step up to another level. And of course, we made the trade. We got to the finals in that first year, and he had a great year, and he had a 5-year run where he was really one of the top players in the league.
And Jerry, talking about that trade and then talking about those finals with the Suns, take me back to Game 5 against the Celtics. Was that really the greatest game ever played in the NBA?
Well, a lot of people say it was the greatest game ever played, but we still lost.
I know, right?
And, that hurts. So I like to pick out a game we won, but, just thinking back on 50 years, it goes so fast, and you think of all that Jerry did to put together teams year after year that get some amazing players and coaches, and the way everybody played together. And the thing that sticks out to me more than anything after those 50 years that went like that, the relationships that people still have.
Yeah.
And there's a bond not only with the players and management and coaches, but with the city that is just profound, and you don't see it everywhere. It's really a tribute to Jerry.
And we see that connection here tonight with the Suns and with GCU.
Yes.
As you stand out there today before this game talking to the crowd, and you have a great like Paul Westphal next to you, and of course Dan Marley, what kind of pride do you have and the history you share with these two guys?
Well, I take a lot of pride in any of the guys who have come through the Phoenix Suns organization, and of course Paul as a player and as a coach, and of course Dan Marley as a player, and he went on to be an assistant coach with the Suns. But life goes by so fast, so quickly. You have to cling to those moments to the people who are all part of your own journey. And so I feel very blessed about that.
And you spent a couple years at the coaching helm here at GCU, and in 1988 led the team to the NAIA title and IA title. And what was that like for you to be coaching the Lopes and then now to see the growth?
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, you can't even imagine the little dinky coach's office we had and the tin roof gym, but it was great. You know, you don't need a building, and not to take anything away from this is exactly the way it should be now. But you can have just as much of an experience without the facilities.
Right.
You know, it's the people and it's the competition. And I think that one thing that I notice here is that's still emphasized. It's still the people and the competition. They just got nicer buildings, and that's it's a great thing for the fans.
What do you think about the job Dan Marley is doing here and bringing his intensity to the court?
I really admire his coaching. His team plays with such great discipline. They play together, they play hard, they very seldom take bad shots. It's a lot like Dan. It's like, you know, when you watch Dan play and you know him, you figure his team would play like this. And they compete for everything. And the only thing I was telling Jerry is we both knew Dan before he could talk. He never said anything. He never said a word. And now he's out there, he just got something to say to everybody, including the referees. So
I was going to say, I get to talk to him each and every game, and he definitely has stuff to say post-game.
he can talk, so that's good to know. It's good. There's growth possible for everybody.
Well, thank you so much for being back here, your old stomping grounds, and enjoy Suns night, and we hope to see you out to a Lopes game.
Oh, we love it. Thank you.
And thank you so much because you do so much for the university, and you brought two great guys to the Valley, and they continue to shine here. All right, we will be back with more Lopes halftime show coming your way. I just talked to Jerry Colangelo and Paul Westphal. We'll see how Barry and Scott top that right after this.
GCU is the university that never sleeps, moving at the speed of light. And now GCU is leading in the area of computer science and IT. With over 200 university degree programs across 9 colleges on campus and online, join the most inventive concept in education today. Fast track options available with courses in cybersecurity, cloud computing, and systems architecture. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/IT. At GCU, earning your degree online doesn't have to be without the college experience. To find your purpose, it takes support from those around you. GCU's leadership offers over 3 decades of experience in delivering real-world degree programs online. GCU's online class size averages less than 17 students with full-time faculty and student advisors. Find your purpose online at Grand Canyon University. Call us today at 855-428-7692.
Finding the right college isn't always simple. The choices I make today affect where I'll be tomorrow. That's why I chose Grand Canyon University. Here I'm working toward a greater purpose and a place that feels like home. With scholarships to help me earn my degree, I can graduate in less than 4 years. By attending GCU, Arizona's premier private Christian university, I know I'm not just making the right choice, I'm making the smart choice.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Back live at GCU Arena with the Lopes on top 33-19 over the Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State. Barry Butel, Scott Williams. No, we cannot top. Kate talking to Jerry Colangelo and Paul Westphal. We're just here to tell you a little bit about the first half, which was raining threes, 7 of 15 from the arc. Nice to see that.
You know, it's funny. I wondered how the Lopes would come out and attack this Devils team, and they decided they were going to do it with the long ball.
7 of 15, just 2 of 12 from the rest of the field. Let's take a look at our opening half highlights. We begin with one of those threes. This one starts with Josh Braun.
I love the flare screen. They never expected, never see it coming out of that zone defense, and Josh Braun just knocks it down in the old pick and pop. Young freshman Laver knocking down his second 3 on the season. Evans goes inside, got inside that bucket. They had their first 6 points were in the paint. And Martin off of that bench. Bench did a really nice job following the play, and Matt Jackson knocked down the 3. Yeah, I guess Carr tries to go inside, gets swatted, and then you got to give the Devils credit. They got it in transition, and Scott with a follow-up tip there, working hard with the hustle. And then another one here on don't get the ball. Scott says, okay, I'll go outside and knock down a deep three on you. This is where Keontae Vernon took one to the shoulder, and he got back, banged in there. In fact, they had to send a substitute shooter to the line, and Dew had to knock down the free throws for him. And then Casey Benson with his only bucket in that first half came from behind the arc. So 7 of 15 shots from behind the arc.
You look at the field goal percentage, 7 of 15 from the arc, 1 of 1 are the Delta Devils. 7 assists for the Lopes, just 3 turnovers, 12-8 in favor of the Lopes. Bench points and fast break points 5-zip. 3 turnovers, gotta like that, because that's been a story early on the first 10 games of the season. Turnover numbers needed to come down. They certainly have here in the first half.
Must take care of the basketball.
What do you see in the second half? Much of the same? We have to see some guys maybe stepping up a little bit.
Yeah. I'd like to see these guys.
God bless you.
I'm sorry about that. I'd like to see these guys take the ball inside a little bit more here in the second half. I mean, you can live with the 3, but you can also die by the 3 as well. And, you know, this game was a 6-point game for a while there. If they shoot too many 3s and they're not making, don't want these Devils to get confident in the second half. Then you're in a dogfight down the stretch. Pound them inside, loosen them up, mixing the 2s and the 3s.
All right, okay, we'll be back with much more of our halftime show from GCU Arena with the Lopes on top of the Delta Devils, 33-19. Leave it right here.
The Grand Canyon University Championship Golf Course features over 7,200 yards of tees and tree-lined fairways, signature par 3s, greenside bunkers, and a 22,000 square foot clubhouse. The Lope House Restaurant, serving modern American cuisine, is open to the public 7 days a week. Come experience the best golf and dining destination in the heart of Phoenix. Book your tee times at gcugolf.com.
Hey you! Are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/AZ roadtrip.
Welcome back. We're just getting ready to start things here in the second half. GCU trying to bounce back after that double overtime loss at Boise State. Doing a fine job in the first half with 14-point lead. But Dan Marley says their shooting still needs to be sharper. He, of course, demanding perfection from this team before they enter WAC play in January. They also have a tough road schedule ahead. But looking at how tonight is faring, leading the Devils right now is Dante Scott with 7 points and Eckwood with 4 points to his name. The Delta Devils only have shot 1 3 in that first half, and that was to Dante Scott's name. Meanwhile, leading the way for the Lopes, the Mayor, he's back. He's found his shot, 8 points for Josh Braun. Coming off the bench, Matt Jackson with 6 points, and the bench total with 12 points. Very strong. And Lever with 5 points. Meanwhile, 3 players with 4. And we want to remind you that although they struggled a bit with their shot on the road, the Lopes, they seem to have found their spots right now, especially beyond the arc. 7 for 14 right now with the threes, guys.
Yes, they have, Kate. Josh Braun, as mentioned, with 8 points. Has a rebound as well in 16 minutes of play. The Broncos from Santa Clara come riding into the GCU Arena to take on head coach Nicole Powell and the GCU women's basketball team this Thursday at 2 p.m. The Broncos are fresh off a big road win at San Diego State. They look to continue their winning ways, while the Lopes look to build on the momentum of their win in Northern Arizona last week and their second in a row this afternoon against Southern Utah. Make it a GCU basketball doubleheader Thursday by rooting on the women and then the men later on in the evening against Longwood. 33-19. Keontae Vernon got the Band-Aid placed on that right shoulder. That's all you need, Lil.
Yeah, I didn't even see, he was out
Band-Aid
here
stuck
warming
on
up here
me.
at half court, and I didn't even see the Band-Aid while he was warming up at the half court, so he looks fine and ready to go. Yeah.
Definitely breathing a bit easier. With Keontae on the floor. Fifi Adu takes it from Benson. Marley didn't like something. Vernon's driving. Right hand, not there. Apparently that shoulder works. Adu! Short. Laver. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Trying to muscle his way. Goes left off the glass. That's not there. Adu can't put it home. Goodness.
Well, they're working hard inside. Vernon, Laver, Adu, everybody crashing that glass. Yeah, this one here, that's the one by Laver. He tracks that down, and he has a nice up and under there. He's just not able to finish. Adu comes and tries to follow jam it. Still the Lopes end up with the ball after their fourth opportunity to score here in this opening second half.
Evans picked up his third. Laver open for three. Again, they get the rebound. Braun to Adu to Benson. Laver. 15. Handoff. Fifi Adu. Up high. Careful Laver in the corner. Backing, floater, not there. Tip back out. Oh my, Laver, thank you.
You think after six
that's too much
opportunities,
work.
yeah,
Was it just six?
It was like time of possession there. Lopes were working hard. Finally got that one to go down, but that'll drive a Coach Chris. Coach Crane's got to be going nuts over there. 7 opportunities to get a shot.
Travel. Curtis Allen.
In the ballgame for the Devils, number 12, Lorenzo Hunt.
Lorenzo Hunt checks back in for Jamal Davis. They do. The wing looks inside, bounce pass, Vernon. Into the paint, right hand, ooh, blind pass, or blind shot rather. Pulled down by EJ.
Either got scraped in the eye or he lost that ball on the way up. Laver had his hand on it for a minute and it got popped out of his hand, so it's going to be Lopes' ball going the other direction.
A little sloppy.
Yeah, I was just say both teams a little sloppy coming out of that locker room.
Benson, dribble handoff, Braun. Vernon, back to Braun. Braun for three. Big rebound again. Handed off by Fifi Adu. Laver looks inside. Vernon comes up for it. Stopping, popping right-handed in. Keontae Vernon.
Well, that was nice, and Laver gave him time to clear the lane, then come back inside the lane, and Keontae Vernon can catch it 6 feet from the basket. Good things will happen.
Laver with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. The first bucket for Keontae Vernon. Foul. Benson.
And Vernon right there, and it's just a step in front of the restricted area. That's lunch all night long for him. Lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. He's very effective from that range, like any player would be.
Curtis Allen from Duck Hill, Mississippi. Beautiful part of the world. Ever been to Duck Hill?
I have not been to Duck Hill. In fact, Mississippi is one of the 4 states that I have never stepped foot in.
Truth be told, I've never been to Mississippi as well. I think it's a beautiful place. Travel, Laver.
Yeah, Laver's wanted to drive it right and then come back to the left, but he slid that pivot foot all the way down from the top of the floor, down top of the key rather, all the way down to the free throw line. Coach Marley not real happy with that.
I'm still kind of in awe of the fact that Paul Westphal said that Dan Marley didn't say too much when now that we've grown accustomed to him on the sidelines. Maybe he had that attitude. You go in someplace new and you keep your mouth shut and your ears open, right?
Yeah, well,
That's how you learn.
That is exactly how you learn. That's a great mindset to have. He learned a lot from the guys that he was surrounding himself with, the coaching staff, and even the players. You know, you got guys like Barkley and Kevin Johnson, Danny Ainge to teach you.
And Quincy gets called after Fifi Adu picked up his third. Trying to find a rhythm here early on. Lopes have 7 offensive rebounds early on this half. A lot of them on one possession. 2 of 9 shooting though.
Well, they can't have a listless half here. That's what you need, an aggression going to the basket. And Casey Benson is so good at using his right hand. They need to pound this team. They need this for their psyche. Coming after that loss to Boise State, they can't just come out of here with a W. They got to come out here with a convincing W.
And Quincy took a nice feed from Scott. Long range shot by Jordan Evans connects.
Evans, I'll tell you what, he's been mixing the drives and the outside shots.
Evans with 5, averaging 9.4 coming in. Vernon trying to move, goes over the top of Lorenzo Hunt.
Yeah, he's got a confidence on that baseline, Jay, from about 14 to 15 feet. Knocked down, I want to say, every one of these last 4 ball games he's been in. He's got 4 points now and 3 boards, and he had to sit out some of that first half with that, I don't know if I will call it injury or whatever, but that shoulder episode.
Foul called on the Lopes, number 25.
Labor called.
13 foul. Timeout on the floor.
Alessandro trying to get accustomed to
Earlier tonight, we hosted
college basketball. Send it over to Kate Longwood.
Well, guys, as you know, the Lopes this year are now eligible for NCAA tournament play. So come March, the madness will hopefully be about campus here. But first, let's take a look at the NCAA landscape when it comes to college basketball to see how things are shaping up early in the season. Perhaps no shock here as Wichita State falls from number 3 to number 11 after that loss Saturday to Oklahoma. Meanwhile, ASU up 2 places to number 3 after a win against Vanderbilt on Sunday. The big showdown, of course, will be for the Sun Devils on 12/30, December 30th, as they head down to Tucson to face the Wildcats. Arizona is up 4. It has won 4 straight, since their Bahamas fiasco, I guess we'll call it, defeating New Mexico at the Pit. That was the most recent win, taking them to number 18. Meanwhile, Scott Williams Tar Heels, number 5 now. North Carolina, they beat Tennessee last night. Duke is at that number 4 spot. Rounding off the top 25 here, you'll see Florida State, number 24. Cincinnati's in that 20th spot. Arizona at 18, followed by Baylor at 19. And we mentioned that ASU is up at that number 3 spot. The last time they were there was back in '81 when Tom Kuiper was leading the way for the Sun Devils. But for the first time, the Sun Devils are 10-0 to start this season. So looking forward to that interstate showdown on the 30th.
Is there a big game in Tucson tonight?
Yeah, haven't you guys heard?
No, what's that?
They're going up against North Dakota State. It's a big rivalry within my household.
Fargo, eh?
Hey, that's where
The
the in-laws
Bison.
come from. A lot of bragging rights on the line right now. Thankfully, the Wildcats are doing their part right now.
Bison
Do
are
we
a
have a
football
score of that game?
powerhouse.
What is the score of that game right now?
I'd be happy to report. I think it's Wildcats with 50-something to the Bison's 20-ish something.
Oh, a beatdown taking place in Tucson.
ASU better keep their eyes open, huh?
Yeah, that won't be an
That'll
easy
be a
win.
good matchup.
It will not be an easy win for Sun Devils to go down there and try to get a win.
Carolina inching their way up. Oh, Vernon came over after the whistle.
Heels had a nice win on the weekend. They were at
Tennessee.
Tennessee. They were in a dogfight, didn't lead until I think what about the 1 minute mark left to go in the ball game. They only led that game for about a minute and 37 seconds all total. And
Feeling good about your Tar Heels?
Well, they got some work to do. You know, they've got some young bigs that don't really know how to always control the glass. But Luke Maid's doing a great job, and Darius Third also play hard.
Vernon's turning it up here in the second half. He put a Band-Aid on something. It's amazing the power of a Band-Aid.
Yeah, but that's where he's when he's most effective. We talked about him coming to this game shooting 68% in his last 3 ball games. Just a lot of his buckets come close to the basket. And, you know, they got the kind of guards that will find him and can deliver the ball underneath.
Regained possession after Anaquinzi picked up the rebound. Evans over to Eckwood. Under 4.5 to go, second half. Evans. In the paint, left-handed in, goes right by Matt Jackson.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Matt Jackson or Blumbergs, whoever who's got him out there on the perimeter, he just puts his head down and goes to the hole.
Benson, pass over to Jackson!
Yeah, so that's Jackson said, I see your 2 and I'll raise you 3 over here on the right wing. And Matt Jackson has got a lot of confidence coming off the bench this season.
3 for 3, 3 rebounds, 9 points from Matt Jackson.
I think he's just feeling better. When you got a bad back or it's sore, it's just hard to move. You don't want to put yourself in rough situations. He's just feeling a lot better when he's on the floor, and it's showing in his play. Oh, Keontae Brent got a piece of that.
Ooh, that's a rebound. Yeah, he looks playing a lot more confident. Benson off the mark. All the way, push off. Take a look at Matt Jackson.
Yeah, there it is one more time, and that's Benson doing what Benson does, driving to the right and finding somebody in the right corner.
Vernon called for the foul, and Hughes sits down. Oscar Freyer takes the court. 13-31. Lopes trying to pick up their 8th victory. Ooh, Freyer almost got a finger on that pass. Dante Scott, their leading scorer, goes inside. Benson's going to be called. This will be Benson's 3rd.
Well, that time they switched Vernon out on Scott. Benson got stuck underneath with a larger player. They went inside. They've been going outside to Scott and let him attack the bigs. But this time they went to the big underneath on the smaller player, Benson. And Shaq Carr's going to come in and replace Benson.
Inbound. Devere Creighton leaves it there for Tariq Eckwood. To his right, and Quincy moving on Vernon. Inside, Scott in the paint, bust through 2, up high off the glass, Dante Scott. Evans, tenacious. Carr up high. Oh, that hasn't worked tonight. Freyer able to get it. 12 on the shot clock. Carr looking for some help. 6, 5, 4. Braun driving, 3-pointer. Good!
Well, what would have been an empty possession, the Lopes never really got into a set. They just gave the ball to the best player they have on their team and said, we'll just get out of your way and let you handle this one.
Inside, Scott. Trying to turn. Vernon's there, Braun's there. He comes back out, 5 on the shot clock. Got to move. Scott, floater. Good. Ooh.
Scott is on a tear right now. 5 of 10 from the field. He's got himself 11 points to go along with 5 boards. Being old, really trying to just keep his team at that 20-point deficit. Don't want that number to grow any larger. And they get a steal.
And Quincy with a nice block there of Carr. Looked a little erratic underneath the basket. Braun, Ryan Evans. Evans in the paint, floater. Oh, foul there, Vernon. Careful, Keontae Vernon's picking up his third personal foul. 11:21 left to go on the clock. The lead is 20 by the Lopes, 49-29 over the Delta Devils. We'll be right back.
Finding the right college isn't always simple. The choices I make today affect where I'll be tomorrow. That's why I chose Grand Canyon University. Here I'm working toward a greater purpose and a place that feels like home. With scholarships to help me earn my degree, I can graduate in less than 4 years. By attending GCU, Arizona's premier private Christian university, I know I'm not just making the right choice, I'm making the smart choice.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Hey you! Are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/AZ road trip.
Welcome back. You're currently watching the Lopes with a 49-29 lead over Mississippi Valley State, but this is how the schedule is looking for the upcoming weeks. On Thursday, right back here, but an earlier tip-off at 6 p.m. We'll get you started with the pregame show at 5:30 as the Lopes take on Longwood before hitting the road on December 23rd, hoping for an early Christmas gift as they go up against Louisville looking for a victory. Then on Wednesday, the 27th, it is a neutral site at Orleans Arena, but they go up against Morgan State, and we will be taking our crew to Las Vegas to bring you that action here on Your View. And then Saturday, December 30th, right before ringing in the new year, the Lopes head to Illinois before starting conference action up at Seattle on January 6th. So we've seen such a home-heavy schedule to start things for this Lopes squad. But Scott, as a former athlete, when you finally hit the road after months of practice and coming together here on your home arena, is it good to get on the road? Can you start building some chemistry that perhaps doesn't come together quite often at home?
Yeah, you absolutely can, Kate, and I think that's a great point. That you got guys from different states, different countries on this basketball team, and it's one thing to know a lot about someone's game, but to learn about them personally, that's when you develop camaraderie and brotherhood and chemistry that carries you over a little bit more in those tough situations when you find yourself in games. You want to pull a little bit harder for somebody that you really know more about their home life, family life, how they grew up.
Possession to the Delta Devils.
That was weird.
Martin in for Braun.
Lopes had it, they turned it over, and then Mississippi Valley had it, and they turned it right back over to the Lopes.
Inbound to Carr. Carr eyed by Tariq Eckwood. Herney on Jackson. Jackson. He's going to just shoot it. Foul underneath. Kerwin Smith's in the game. And a Quincy called.
Up 20 at home, 10:47 to play. This is where you really got to lock in. That shot by Jackson, I know he's made a bunch of them today, but the offense never got into anything. You got to execute your sets here.
Prayer driving up high. Prayer's called.
I had to see that one more time if we can get that queued up. I love that speed and quickness of Frere to try to get to the basket. You got to wonder if the defender got outside that restricted area to take this charge. I don't even know if you consider him inside these restricted areas. His feet weren't even on the ground. That's a tough one on Frere. That's a definite high school college call versus one where you would probably see in the NBA. They would be wanting to let that play finish at the rim. But I really like the way Frere attacks that bucket when he can.
Scott. Floater, short. Jackson, easy rebound. Leaves it for Carr. Near side, comes back out.
Matt Jackson now has come off this bench. He's got 5 boards. We already talked about those 9 points that he's got.
Jackson alone, 3-point attempt. Short, Smith got a hand on it. Frayer, loses the handle. Delta Devils. Oop, are they going to overrule it?
I think they're going to say Frayer punched it out.
Yeah, that'd be Lopes' ball.
Yeah, I think it was Kerwin Smith that kept it alive at first, and then Frayer was in a battle for the ball as well.
Carr, tied by Naherney.
They're going to get a rolling screen that time on Kerwin Smith. He wanted to set the nice pick and then roll down to the bucket where he can get that good low post position, but cleared out the defender.
Called for that on a few occasions.
That's a play for a younger big that have to learn how to develop. And as you see Shaq Carr out here pressuring 22, and Hurney is going to get whistled for the foul of pushing off. But as going back to Kerwin Smith, I mean, it's a subtle thing. You have to give the defender chance to roll underneath the basket, but you also want to keep him on your back. So it's a combination of trying to just learn a little know-how on how to get that done with you don't get whistled for the foul.
Frayer floater inside, Kerwin Smith, back out, Matt Jackson quickly. Carr drives into the paint, dishes back over to Frayer. Frayer for 3, short.
Yeah, it's going to be a foul fest here in the second half, I suppose. They got Kerwin Smith down low, banging, trying to get on the inside for offensive rebounding position. So already GCU has fouled too many times. Kerwin Smith, all he does is wheel down here, and they get kind of tangled up. He throws that right arm, gets away from his body too much.
Nate Naherney, junior. 63% free throw shooter coming into the game.
He shot that like it was a live grenade. I don't know what the hurry was on that one, but you're 63%. You may want to take an extra second to eye the basket before you go to shoot the ball.
Carr, Frayer quickly. Smith working on Dante Scott. Goes left-handed in, Kerwin Smith.
That's the wrinkle to his game that he has added this year. Watched him do that a couple times in practice before I realized it was a talent that he had, not a lucky shot that he got going down the first time. So he likes that kind of that bang, bang, I'm gonna take you to my left, and actually no, I'm gonna come back with a right shoulder turn and throw a left-hand hook over the top of it.
Travel on Dante Scott. How many times do they have to hit it for it not to be a lucky shot?
At least 2 or 3 out of 4. You know, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, depending on how many saves. But it's real the I guess the form of the shot. As long as that's consistent and it's going in consistently, then you know that's something that a player has worked on.
Carr, by Eckwood. Carr into the paint, leaves it there for Kerwin Smith, trying to bring it up. Fouled, looks by Jamal Davis.
Bench, you know, Kerwin's minutes are sometimes spotty depending on what's going on. This one may have a little bit more to do with Keontae Vernon's situation, that he's getting this action here, but he's making the most of his time.
This is the front end, Kerwin 60%, just 3 of 5 coming in. Eckwood. Jared Martin has an eye on him. Eckwood to the right, pulling down and shooting. Phillips off the mark. Smith with the rebound. Kerwin up to Shaq Carr. Martin quickly cross court. Jackson pulls down patiently as Naherney flies by. Oh, picks that off. Turnaround floater, too heavy. Kerwin Smith pulled it down as Eckwood unsuccessful. Carr, oh, sloppy. Up high, up for Anaquinze. Carr has a tendency sometimes to just get it out of control a little bit.
moving a little too fast.
Yeah,
and that's where you kind of got to worry about when you get these situations and you're up 20-plus points, trying to stay within what you want to do. The reason why they are pressing in the backcourt is because they want you to play faster, because they realize with the deficit, they got to make something happen in a hurry.
Matt Jackson, 9 points, 5 rebounds in the game, has definitely stepped up in this game. He looks cool and confident. Looked a little erratic earlier on, but as you said, maybe his back's feeling a lot better.
I think it's
a lot better.
I think it's helped his comfortability and Coach Marley's system. He's been aggressive tonight right from the very beginning with that first jumper, and then he likes the corner three, is then knocking those down. You built yourself a quiet little confidence. Next thing you know, you're like, well, I can go on the glass and help the team that way too, and he's done that. He's pulled down 5 boards in this game, so we give this young man credit. After a slow start, he's got it revved up in a high gear now.
9 points, 5 rebounds, has an assist in 17 minutes from Matt Jackson. Students are on break. Cheer, dance, band, all right here. Voted to their teams and the university here during the break. Great halftime show by GCU Dance.
I love the little kids. They get a chance to come out, get down to the court. They got all that energy. Parents let them get it out here at the games.
Once again, let's hear it for the GCU Dancers.
Dr. Berger.
The dancers are under the direction of Coach Jackie Janenka.
Wolves bench outscoring the Delta Devils 17-10.
Yeah, the Devils still have the advantage, points in the paint, 20-12, and it's been Dante Scott that's really been the one provided that the majority of the scoring for the Devils. He's got 11 points on 5 of 11 shooting.
Plus 10 rebounds for the Lopes this half. Jackson connects. 10 points. Ron leads the Lopes in scoring with 11. Jensen back on the floor. Vernon's there. Jackson came up for it. Oh, is he going to be called? He is.
That was a little hard one there. That Jackson, tough, he's like, hey, I got the inside position, and I'm getting the one whistled for the foul right now. I understand officiating somewhat. I would never want to do it. It's a tough job. One thing that's difficult is, though, when you, as an official, when you start calling fouls early that are kind of, they're fouls. But they're fouls that probably deserve to be at a lower level. And these guys are, college kids and play a little more physical game. Now you all of a sudden, any type of foul that is a touch foul becomes a whistle. And that's not good for the overall flow and rhythm of the game. It makes it tough for the players to get into a group.
Fans don't like it.
I don't think anybody likes it.
Broadcasters can't stand it. Vernon quickly, Frayer. Jackson takes a seat. He's got 11, his second double-digit scoring game at 12 against Grambling. One back in for him. Frayer near side. Vernon working on Naherney. Knocked out. Lopes ball. 7 on the shot clock. Naherney called. Is this the second time this has happened? Wasn't it right near the end of the first half?
Well, that was a nice job there by the Lopes. They try to run Josh Braun off a kind of a double pick from the elbow area down to the basket, and Finner got caught in a bad way and just grabbed Braun. But both teams in the double bonus, the rest, well, I'll take that back. The Lopes are not, but a lot of fouls here early in this second half. As brought this game down to a grinding halt. It's just going to march to the free throw line on both ends.
Lopes 12th in the nation in scoring defense, just allowing 61.6 points per game. Limited the Delta Devils to 33 to this point. Vernon stones them. Braun brings it up. Martin inside to Braun. Ooh, off balance, careful. Pulled down by Kalon Phillips.
Go back to this one with Keontae Vernon. This is why he's so important for him to stay on that floor. He erases a lot of mistakes. If a Lopes player would be burnt on a drive to the basket, he is very good at coming over and protecting that rim.
Murray checks out. Jordan Evans back in. Evans has 4 personal fouls. This Atwood up to Scott. Scott driving up high, not there. Braun up and over to pull down a rebound. Frayer up high. Look out!
Well, that's what you like to see. You get a rebound and your transition game just takes off down the floor with the player finishing at the basket.
Davis. Martin tried to get a hand on it. Alan Phillips leaves for Evans. Evans. Eckwood. Looking to move, stopping. Heavy rebound, Vernon. 6 minutes to go. Second half.
Typically, that's only Vernon's 4th rebound. Seems like he's had closer to 10 than 4.
Benson, bounce pass. Ooh, that was telegraphed.
And
Davis.
telegraphed, and Vernon didn't seal the way Benson would have liked him to seal that defender from sneaking around his side.
Battling Benson. Davis shot off the mark. Braun looks for 3. Short. Vernon. Tipped it. Martin. Benson in the paint. Down low. Vernon up. Oh, not there. Braun's going to pull it down. Another offensive rebound.
They are owning the glass in the second half, the offensive glass. These extra opportunities, it doesn't seem like they get a lot of the results from the actual field goal, but a lot of fouls and opportunities from the line.
Lopes out rebounding the Delta Devils 42 to 28, 16 to 8 offensive rebounds. Braun at the line. This has just been just a weird thing with Josh from the free throw line. 69% coming in.
Yeah, back-to-back misses from the free throw line. You talk about certain aspects of the game becoming psychological for players. Well, even free throws is probably one of the most psychological things, as you stand there all alone with an opportunity to score with no one guarding you. And he's always so good at it in the mid to upper 80s a lot. This season off to a slower start.
Definitely money on the back end, nothing but net. Evans, far side, leaves it there for EJ back in the game. Evans trying to move on Benson up. Swatted there by Vernon. Put back unsuccessful. Braun's battling after it. Emmanuel EJ.
Foul called on the Devils, number 10, Emmanuel EJ. Second personal.
Second on EJ.
One of these players we thought, we highlighted in the opening lineups was EJ. He's got a lot of experience coming over from Nigeria playing basketball, and he hasn't been able to get going at all tonight. He's got no points on 0 for 3 shooting and just 3 boards and an assist. If they're not going to get a contribution from him, then it's always going to be a long night for Coach Payne's ball club. They need his interior scoring. He hasn't been able to provide it tonight.
Josh Braun. Davis, Braun up on him, inbound. Jordan Evans, 7-0 run for the Lopes. 2.5 minutes. The Delta Devils haven't scored. Davis, far side. Jeffrey Lewis in the game. Lewis turning down low underneath. Put back. Doesn't fall for Emmanuel EJ.
Yeah, just snake bit. I mean, you got the ball point blank, probably one that he scores on 90% of the time. Just couldn't get it up off the glass and in.
Benson moving on EJ.
I think Milstead was getting ready to come in for Benson, and Benson said, wait, I got one more opportunity before my night's over. I'm going to take this thing to the hole and get that body contact, go to the line and knock some free throws down.
Lewis called. First on Lewis.
Nothing but net for the 74% free throw shooter.
Number 21, Arinze Anaquinze.
Anaquinze comes in for EJ. Benson perfect, 2 for 2. 61-33 is the lead for GCU. Blumberg checks back in. Vernon and Benson sit down, and Damari Milstead also on the floor. Quincy leaves it there for Davis. Davis far side to Lewis. Lewis eyed by Braun. Looks inside. And Quincy trying to turn up over the top of Frere. Whistle is called. Getting Frere.
Entering that area called garbage time now, Barry. This is this game was 5 points. 16-21, and then the Lopes have just gone on a run that Mississippi Valley State had no answer for.
Braun leaves it for Milstead. 4 minutes and counting. The Lopes eyeing that 8th victory of the season. Milstead moves to his right. Back to Braun. Braun pulls down, drives into the paint, dishes out Fifi. Damari for 3. Milstead!
Well, that was great execution by the Lopes.
He likes the arc. 3 for 3 for Damari Milstead. Timeout. Delta Devils. 12-0 run for the Lopes, opening up a commanding 64-33 lead over the Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State. Rejoin us, won't you, as we close it out here in Phoenix.
I'm Dewey, a student here at GCU studying communications. My dad graduated from GCU in 2009, and he is definitely bleeding purple. He loves GCU to the max. Me choosing to follow in his footsteps was the best idea I could have chosen. I absolutely love sports, playing them and watching them, and I could talk about them all day. GCU has made it possible for me to pursue my passion of becoming a sports broadcaster. The program they had here and the direction it could take me was exactly what I wanted and what I needed. Knowing that I could talk to a professor or a counselor about literally anything that has to do with my academia or even just my personal life was encouraging and exciting to know. The friends and the roommates that I've had in the last 3 years have made my quality of life 1,000 times better. I am a GCU Lope, and I will forever always be one.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
64-33 the score. The Lopes sitting 43.5% in the second half. The Delta Devils just 26.3%. Who doesn't love t-shirt time? Bench play definitely stepped up for the Lopes. Matt Jackson.
Yeah, Matt Jackson's been aggressive off that line, 3 of 5. All 3 of those were three-point shots. He's got 10 points, and I love the way Jared Martin's coming in here. He's run the floor. He's got a couple tip ins, and then Talked about the Matt Jackson from behind the arc. Kerwin Smith has got a field goal. Even Blumberg, he had some minutes out there. He's got on the glass. So those guys are doing a good job on the rebounding the ball as well. I mean, 45 rebounds for this Lopes team. Their season high was 46 against St. John. So they'll no doubt go over and surpass that mark tonight.
Lewis off the mark. That'll go out of bounds. 23-10, the Lopes bench outscoring the Delta Devils bench. Into the game is Ibrahima Shankare, also as there's a timeout. 3:13 to go. The Lopes going to clean it up for their 8th win against 3 defeats. Coming up Thursday night against Longwood, their final home game before traveling out on the road. Louisville, Saturday afternoon. Louisville with new head coach Padgett.
Yeah, they're playing good. They got some real long players. And Keontae Vernon's going to have to be one of these guys that's got the battles with those big guys. It's Della Dang is a big guy underneath, and they got a 7'3" guy. And hopefully his shoulder's going to be okay. He banged that shoulder. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. But they took him back in the locker room, and they came back, and he has been money in the second half, doing some damage there with the righty hooks and slam dunks around the basket. This little pop from the right wing from about 16 feet. So very aggressive, so not showing any defects of it. Got another game Thursday against Longwood. Longwood actually plays number 3 Arizona State tomorrow, and then they got to travel over this way and play the Lopes. So it's a nice thing for these players. They'll be able to chance to do a little scouting of their next opponent and be right down the road. They can even probably go to the game if they would like. I'm certainly going to be watching it. See, I haven't had a chance to put eyes on Arizona State too much. I know they've been a high-octane offense. Yeah, put 90 on folks on a nightly basis, and get a chance to check and see what Longwood can do to try to slow them down.
So you're going to watch it, maybe wrap some presents while you're doing that, right? Presents?
I'm not buying any presents for anybody this year. I'm more in the season of receiving rather than giving this year. I want to see what someone's going to do for me.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Jamari Milstead. Blumbergs quickly. Fifi Edu bounce pass. From Kare. Turning towards the bucket. Ooh, nice move by Ibrahima.
How about that? Hey, not only the $10 move, but he had the finish on top of it. Nice move, a little up and under for the young big fella.
There's a Sheik sighting. And Nehemiah sighting over the storage table. The Lopes well in control. By 33.
Yeah, I think if you've got a Lopes uniform, you're going to see some action tonight, because this one is in control all the way, and that's the great thing about a game like this, where it was coming off a difficult loss, double overtime. How does your team respond? Do they hang their head and they come out and compete? Well, Lopes certainly have come out here and competed.
Monte Scott. His 12th point coming in, averaging 10.1 as the Delta Devils leading scorer. Sheik Sai Savain in the game.
And he's one of the hungry guys. His minutes are generally short. When he gets in the game, he tries to make the most of them. Wouldn't be surprised if he's even able to get a 3-point shot up here in his final 2.5.
Nehemiah Allen in the game as well. Interest in broadcast journalism for Sheik Sai Savain. He's good on camera, man.
Job is definitely here.
Sheik. Jamari Milstead. Driving, right hand underneath on the glass. Milstead.
That was nice right there from the left wing. Took it all the way over to the right side, threw it in reverse and up and in.
5 for Milstead. Kare on Allison. Back out front. Creighton. Henry Taylor connects into the game. Taylor averaging 3 minutes in 10 games. Both teams getting some players some playing time. Sheik Sai-Savane, he wants 3. He connects! Sheik Sai-Savane! 2 for 2 from the arc this year.
Yeah, I've watched this young fellow a few times in practice, and he likes to shoot that long ball. I wasn't surprised to see him go ahead and shoot that ball with his fenders sagging off of him by that much.
The iron shake.
Creighton going down there and getting the foul, but look, if Finner's going to play that far off you, that's just disrespect, man. You got to go ahead and shoot that one, whether it didn't go in or not. He definitely had to let that fly. Nice to see it find the cords.
Parker Dale's coming in for Blumberg. That's everybody. Second game of the season for Parker. Another Aussie for the Lopes. Ponkare over to Damari Milstead. Great when everybody can contribute to a victory. Approaching a minute to go. Milstead. Milstead drives up high. Nehemiah Allen. Good move by Allen off of the legs. Out of bounds, inbound, Parker Dale. Dale. Ooh, picked off. Henry Taylor. Ibrahima Shankare with the swat away. Sheik just inside the arc. Not there. Long pass. Hunt. Taylor unsuccessful. Foul called. So they'll get Milstead. Sheik.
First personal.
Well, I got to say that I was very impressed with the bench's performance tonight. I thought the starters were going along and they're playing okay, nothing spectacular. I think this game changed when the bench came in with a lot of energy, and it really got the crowd into it. It provided a lift to some of the starters that were out there on the floor with them. And the whole complexion of the game changed, and the Lopes have not looked back since.
Lopes bench outscoring the Delta Devils, bench 30-13. They'll look to just dribble off as Marley lets Milstead know to just let it go. The Lopes are going to win it 71-38 to improve their mark to 8-3 on the season. They did what they needed to do, coming back after a tough double overtime loss at Boise State, losing by 5. Coming back here and the first of 2 on their home court before traveling out on the road and win it decisively, 71-38. We'll step aside, be back with more from GCU Arena, including head coach Dan Marley's post-game press conference. So keep it right where you have it on your view.
Founded on the belief that the entrepreneurial dream is an engine that drives innovation forward in a global marketplace, the Colangelo College of Business educates and develops values-driven business leaders. Our graduates exemplify the principles of servant leadership and entrepreneurship. GCU's strong Christian identity informs the education you receive, integrating our Christian values with the business curriculum. The college features more than 25 programs from the bachelor through the master's level, catering to traditional, evening, and online students. These programs serve a diverse set of aspiring business professionals who not only learn in the classroom, but gain real-world experience operating actual businesses. Our students also receive unique access to Jerry Colangelo's legendary experience, leadership, and connections throughout the business world. Find out more at gcu.edu/business.
I am Laura Lozoya, and I am majoring in biology with an emphasis in pre-med at Grand Canyon University. The dorm life at GCU definitely helped me build relationships, and I've made great friends on this campus. The quality education here is great. You're testing your limits, but you're going beyond them. It all comes together. The sciences, the ethics, and just everything. It's a beautiful thing.
Grand Canyon University, the quality of a private Christian education, the affordability of a state university. Visit gcu.edu.
Lopes winning it 71-38 over the Delta Devils. As we take a look at our final stats, 40.7% from the field, free throws 16-24, much improved from the arc, 11-27, rebounding 49-30, and the bench points 30-13. The Lopes also with 8 blocks in the game, a season high in rebounds, you see there. As a decisive win for Grand Canyon over the Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State. 8-3, a win that going into it, you knew they were going to be favored heavily, and they certainly won it handily.
Well, they did what they do on the defensive end. I mean, 27% shooting, that's a wonderful job. Really pressured them out there on the floor. And you know, I like the way they got on the glass. And you know, we talked a little bit right at the end of the game, the way the bench performed is a thing of beauty. You get 30 points off the pine.
That's got to be a sweet luxury for Coach Marley, knowing that if you need that jolt that you said they needed that little shot of enthusiasm that guys like Matt Jackson and others provided.
Yeah, and it wasn't that the starters were playing weren't playing hard. I wouldn't want to imply that, but they just needed a little something, a different look. And whether it was the energy in the half court situation defensively, or maybe picking up on more of a full court press, it made the life pop, and they got some transition baskets out of it, and some threes, and some plays at the bucket.
Let's take a look at our player of the game. It is Matt Jackson. 10 points, 5 rebounds for number 5.
Very aggressive. The first 3 shots he took were from behind the arc, and he's got a much better rhythm, flow, movement. Regardless whether the shot went in, it's his energy, and especially getting on that glass, putting his nose in there, and much better player than what we've seen out of him even earlier in the season or in seasons past. I just like the way the kid's moving. He's doing his darn thing.
10 points in 17 minutes. Let's send it into the post-game press conference area. Kate Longworth is joined there by Paul Coro.
Thanks, guys. We're going to break down tonight's game in just a moment, but first we want to remind you it is the most wonderful time of the year, and in the spirit of that, on Thursday night, our telecast will be dedicated to the holidays. We'll be wearing, our crew will have some ugly sweaters out there, and we have talked to the players, asking them about their favorite holiday memories growing up, also their favorite holiday songs. Can't wait to hear them sing some of those, belt some of those out for you, and some holiday surprises coming your way. Guys, I know you'll be very colorful in your Oppo suits, and Paul, you're going to have an ugly sweater. Yeah, I'm counting on it, right?
The regular ones are ugly.
Paul's wearing his normal wardrobe, and he's probably going to sing a little for us, too.
No, maybe not. No.
All right. Well, then let's do something else you're good at. Let's talk basketball. What stands out to you tonight in the Lopes winning effort?
Well, obviously another great defensive effort. They established that from the beginning, and the three-point shooting was back where you would expect them to shoot threes. They actually shot threes better than twos for most of the game, but the math works on that well. The metrics tell you that to take those, in a good balanced effort. Lots of guys came in. I think the second half really opened with some efficient offense where they went inside out and got a little bit more well-rounded offensive game. Here's Dan.
Speaking of a well-rounded guy right here, Dan Marley.
Obviously a good game for us. We had some goals that we wanted to meet, and we met them. So this was a good game for us to come home after a tough loss against Boise, and obviously did what we had to do. You're always a little nervous when you face a team that hasn't won, but that's a team that travels all over the place and plays hard. So I'm happy with our guys. I thought defensively we were good, active, got on the offensive boards. 16 offensive rebounds, which is good. Actually shot 40%, which is a step up for our team. So we're getting there. I thought Matt Jackson was really good. He's got to continue to round into shape. We've missed him, especially last year. He's been a big part of this team and very smart. So overall, really good win, and got one more here to get, and then we get on the road. Yeah, when you miss, he missed a whole year. When we scrimmaged Oregon State, he was really good, and then he got hurt, and he missed that whole year, and had a bunch of different injuries they had to battle through, and then has done a good job and been trying to bring him along slowly to make sure he's healthy, especially for the WAC season, and trying to get his wind and get back into game shape. And he's just so smart. Not only when he shoots the ball well, he's a good shooter, but he's just so smart defensively, and he knows what we're trying to do offensively, and he's just a really good glue guy. So when he shoots the ball like that, he gives us good size, and a guy can stretch the floor, and just a smart guy. Just, learning from our mistakes. We've got a history of giving away games. We had that game one in Boise against a really good team in a tough place, and just can't continue to give games away, and we got to take whoever we're playing and get better. We can't just go out and play and not try to improve. And I thought tonight we, did a good job of really concentrating and getting after it. And like I said, we have one more to get here, and then, we get to get out and get on the road and play a really good Louisville team and Morgan State, who's going to be good at Vegas, and then obviously Illinois. So it'll be good for us to get on the road and start to test our mettle. Yeah, they said he sprained his ACL or something. I'm just glad. I thought maybe it popped out, but he was able. He's a tough kid. I'm just glad it didn't pop out, and he did a better job in the second half of taking his time and using the mismatches in the post, and just really with his effort on the offensive boards. And Keontae's kind of our vocal and our leader out there. He's a guy's been here 3 years, a senior. He gets after guys. He's got a lot of intensity and our physical for us. So when he's on the floor and playing that well, it helps. It's always fun. Mr. Colangelo's hears a lot, and I talk to him. First thing he said when he came in my office, he said, "Why didn't you foul at Boise State?" So it's always good to see him. And then, Coach Westfall is a big part of what we did in Phoenix, and he's such a legend, not only, in Phoenix, but wherever in the NBA, and then what he was able to do here as a coach. So it's always good to see him. He was a terrific coach and even a better person. So I got to visit with both Mr. Colangelo and Coach Westfall in the office before. So it's always good when those guys come back. Mr. Colangelo's here all the time, and I'll get his update on the game tomorrow. I told him we got to be better, man. We got to finish. I'm tired of us looking at the stat sheet and shooting 30%. I said we got to find a way. And the big thing was we were shooting 46% from the three in the first half, and we ended up shooting 33 overall in the first half. And I said enough's enough. Got to concentrate. We still miss a lot of layups, and we got to put the ball in the basket. Got to make the extra pass. Sometimes we're still taking bad shots, but we got to make the extra pass and penetrate. And we did a better job of that in the second half. Thank you.
And let's revisit Scott's 3 keys to the game.
Well, it's pretty simple. It's cold outside. This Mississippi Valley State team only shoots 28%, and then Lopes kept them even below that number, 27%. And I love the fact that they get in the naughty list. Force 14 turnovers. You get on the offensive glass. You take 16 extra opportunities on the offensive glass, and then the season of giving. I love the way GCU just moves that basketball. 14 assists tonight.
I just love that comment about Mr. Colangelo asking him why he didn't foul at Boise State.
Yeah, I could see that literally, like not even a hello, just why didn't you foul?
Dude. A big bounce back.
I want to know what the answer was, though. That's what I was hoping he would share with us.
Too much time on the clock. That's what I got. The game on Thursday, obviously, they need to continue this because these games on the road are not going to be easy ones.
No, they're not, but this is a great opportunity. Like I said, they got the night off. Longwood's got to play tomorrow at a tough ASU team. Everybody had an opportunity to put eyes on that game. And when they come out here, they just need that same intensity that they had in the second half where they had that little bit of a run. 48% shooting in the second half is where this Lopes team should be against a Mississippi Valley State and a Longwood.
All right, as we mentioned, Longwood here on Thursday night. We want you to join us once again, and be sure to catch that last home game of the year when they host the Lancers from Longwood, from Virginia, this Thursday. GCU hits the road next week with 4 straight road games before coming back home on January 11th against New Mexico State. Western Athletic Conference play with the students out for holiday break. Great time to purchase tickets to see head coach Dan Marley and the men's team Thursday night. If you can't make it out to the game, be sure to tune in right here to YourView or online at gcu.tv for the Lopes pregame show with Kate starting at 5:30. Tip-off at 6 p.m. on Thursday. But that'll do it from here at GCU Arena, where tonight the Lopes beat the Delta Devils 71-38. Please join us again on Thursday. GCU hosting the Longwood Lancers. But until then, for Kate Longwood, Scott Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Barry Butel, wishing you a wonderful Monday night.